Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Sports Corner Live. We are back once again for a live watch-along. This is it. This is the end of international football for 2020. Well, we didn't really have many games of international football over the past year, but here we are. These are the last two match days of the Nations League. It is done and dusted after this until 2021, where, of course, we will know who is in that knockout stages. And most importantly, we will know tonight some of those teams that will be facing off against each other in October 2021. There's some big games across the board tonight and some little ones to certainly keep our eyes out on. So without further ado, kickoff of these games is in 10 minutes' time. If you're new to the stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription, whether you're watching this live or on the replays. We are a couple of subscribers away from 1,300, so it's always very greatly appreciated when you do leave a subscription to the channel. But as I said, without further ado, we are pushing on time, so let's go through the lineups ahead of these fixtures tonight. So tonight's main game that we're going to be covering on the channel is Spain versus Germany. That is the game that I have. I'm quite lucky that I've got tonight. 4-3-3 in goal is Unai Simon. Back four of Gaia, Pau Torres, Sergio Ramos, who's going to have to certainly make himself a hero tonight rather than the villain he was in the previous game. And then Sergio Roberto at right back. Midfield three of Rodri, Koke and Sergio Canales of Real Betis. And then up top tonight, Dani Olmo on the left, Ferran Torres on the right, and Alvaro Morata comes into the middle. They do have a defined striker this time. Oyarzabal is dropped to the bench. And then this is the Germany lineup, 4-3-3 for the Germans tonight, a change of the system from the five at the back they were playing against Ukraine a few days ago. Manuel Neuer is in goal, a back four of Philippe Max of PSV Eindhoven, Robin Koch of Leeds, Sul and Ginter. Midfield three of Toni Kroos, Gundogan, of course, Ilkay Gundogan of Manchester City, and Leon Goretzka. And then up top tonight, Gnabry on the left, Leroy Sané on the right, Werner up top, unchanged attacking lineup with that team. And then, as you can see, with the way that this group currently stands, it pretty much is tonight winner takes all in League A Group 4. Remember, if you are in League A, if you finish top of your group tonight or tomorrow, you will be going into that knockout stage, semi-final and potentially final, of course, of the Nations League in October next year. So as it currently stands, it's winner takes all between Germany and Spain. The other game that was supposed to be going on tonight between Ukraine and Switzerland has been postponed/cancelled. Some of the Ukrainian players have contracted COVID. The entire team has had to go into isolation. They didn't have a second team that they could play, which therefore means that game for now is suspended. Whether it gets played again or not in the future, we have no idea. But as for now, of course, we can focus on those top two teams, Germany and Spain, fighting it out to get into the knockout stages of the Nations League. So that is how things are looking for now in that group. Should be an interesting game, and hopefully teams do go gung-ho tonight in desperation to win the group or survive. Let's move on to the next game. We are going to go to Croatia and Portugal. Two big games going on in this group in League A. And the first game, I said, Croatia-Portugal, is going to be watched tonight by Will. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you, mate?
Doing good as always, buddy. I mean, good game tonight for you. Croatia 4-3-3 they're going with tonight. Livakovic is in goal. Back four of Bradovic, Skoric, Lovren and Juranovic. Midfield three of Kovacic, Marko Rog and Luka Modric. And then up top tonight, it is Ivan Perisic, Nikola Vlasic. And then Pasalic is being played as a false nine tonight. So an interesting shout from the Croatian team, of course. We'll talk about what they need to do tonight in a moment. And then Portugal, they're going for a 4-3-3 as well. Rui Patricio is in goal. Back four of Mario Rui, Ruben Semedo, of course, Ruben Dias as well, two Rubens in the back line, and then Nelson Semedo as the right back. Midfield three, Bruno Fernandes, Jean Martino, and Danilo Pereira. And then up top is Diogo Jota, Cristiano Ronaldo, and João Felix. Croatia tonight, they've got to go out there and win this game, or else they could be relegated tonight, depending on the result between France and Sweden. Portugal, they need to go in this game and pretty much, I think, just having a quick look at the group, of course, we'll have a look in a proper second. They need to win this game and hope that France lose against Sweden. Pressure's on for them tonight. Do you think it's possible for Portugal to win this?
Yeah, it's definitely possible for Portugal to win the game. Whether they'll get promoted, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, they've got a better goal difference than whoever's above them in the group. However, I don't know if it goes on head-to-head or goals scored, so we'll have to see what happens at the end of the game. But it's a big game for Croatia as well. Sweden and them are both tied on 3 points. If Sweden win tonight, they'll jump ahead of them. So Croatia are also in a battle to not get relegated. So there's a lot riding on this game for both sides, and I think it's going to be a really entertaining game.
It should be indeed. Thank you very much, Will. We'll have a look at that group in a moment. Always very greatly appreciated. So that is Will covering the game between Croatia and Portugal. A player who's not playing on the pitch tonight is just joined us in the chat. Kai Havertz, how are we doing? You're not playing for Germany tonight. Of course, you got to put your feet back and chill. Of course, it's probably not the real Kai Havertz. But how are you doing? How are you? All good as always, buddy. Welcome to the stream. Let's move on to the other game between France and Sweden in the group. Of course, once again, this is a big game tonight for France. All they need to get is 1 point and they're through to the next round. As for Sweden, they have to get a result tonight against France, or else they will be relegated out of the Nations League. And to watch this game is going to be Kieran D. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm okay. How about you?
Good as always, I am. Let's have a look at the lineup for France tonight. 4-3-3. Lloris is in goal. Back four of Hernandez. That's Lucas Hernandez, of course. Kimpembe, Varane, and Benjamin Pavard. Midfield four. Thuram is on the left. Sissoko is on the right. Adrien Rabiot and Pogba in the middle. And then up top tonight is Griezmann and Giroud. And then matching their system as well, of course, the Swedes, pretty much an unchanged lineup from their previous game. Olsen in goal. Back four of Bengtsson, Danielson, Lindelof and Lustig. Midfield four, Emil Forsberg, Victor Claesson, Olsen and Seb Larsson. And then up top is Berg and Kulusevski. And now when I look at the group, we can actually have a proper look now as it stands. Sweden sat bottom of the group on 3 points. Croatia above them, courtesy of head-to-head, I believe it's on tonight. And then Portugal on 10 points, France on 13 points. The pressure's not on France tonight, is it, Kieran? It really is on Sweden.
No, but I'm sure they'll want to win to see out the group, of course. They've got the team at the end of the day. They should be winning this game. But Sweden have got some decent players like Kulusevski, of course, Marcus Berg, Forsberg, Henrik Larsson, not Sebastian Larsson, of course. They've got some decent players in there. So I'm hoping for an entertaining game.
Hopefully so. I mean, if Seb Larsson was on the pitch, then it'd be fantastic for him. Of course, they've got him on the pitch tonight. It's Henrik Larsson, not Seb Larsson. There's so many Larssons right now in Sweden. It's unbelievable. But no, big game tonight for France and Sweden. Of course, Sweden need to get something out of this game if they've got any hopes of getting through. Of course, Scott's perfectly said himself, goes head-to-head France in the finals already. So pretty much done and dusted there. So pressure's on Sweden tonight. But of course, we'll have to find out and see what happens there. Thank you very much, as always, Kieran D. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much, Scott, as well, because that sorts that issue out. Of course, we were trying to find out whether it was head-to-head or not. We believed it was, but France through already means that Sweden need to get something tonight if they want to stay up. Now let's move on to two other games going on tonight. Two other smaller games going on. Big game indeed between Malta and the Faroe Islands. And to watch this game tonight is Rowan. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? How are you? We already know you're good.
Fantastic. I'm going to try and change it up every time. Let's have a look at that Malta lineup. 3-4-3 today for Malta. Bonella's in goal. Back three of Borg, Agius and Shaw. That's not Luke Shaw. Midfield four of Kamenzuli, Teuma, Guillaumier and Mbong. And then up top of the front three is Gambing, Montebello and De Gabriel. And then for Faroe Islands, they've got a 4-4-2. Gentsen is in goal. Davidson, Vattenhammer, Ferro and Rolandsen make up the back four. Midfield four, Briatalio, Hendrickson, Janssen, and Vattenhammer. There's two of them on the pitch tonight. Have fun with that, Rowan. And then up top, to make it even better for you, there's two Olsens as well. Olsen and Olsen up top together. At least you don't have to find out which one's got the first name. You've got the Olsen brothers once again in that match tonight. Looking at the group run, as it currently stands, Faroe Islands on top on 11 points. It's pretty much done and dusted in that respect. Malta on 8 points as well. It's a big game for both of these sides tonight. Who do you think is going to win?
Who knows? Who scored the most goals? The Faroe Islands are winning. They've scored more goals. Professional that's stats. I don't know. Who cares? It's Faroe Islands versus Malta. I just want goals. Give us a 7.
Exactly. I mean, look, the amount of goals that they've scored in this group, if you look at 8 goals for Faroe Islands, 7 for Malta. I know it's cross 5 games. You never know what could happen, so we'll have to find out. But, thank you very much, Rowan. As always, very greatly appreciated. He's going to keep your eyes out on Faroe Islands, going up against Malta. Of course, Malta, the home side, so we'll have to see what happens there. So quite a small game indeed in terms of the complexion of it, but still very important for those smaller teams. And then before we kick off in just a moment's time, we've got one more game to look at from the smaller side of things tonight. Carl's put high all Germany. Spain should be a good game. Hope for a great play. Lots of goals and German win. Going to be watching that game tonight, Carl. So keep your eyes out. Of course, should be a good match indeed. But Gibraltar Liechtenstein is going to be watched by Kieran L tonight. Well, he was going to watch the game between Switzerland and Ukraine, but of course it's been called off by COVID. This must be a better game, surely, Kieran.
Yeah, honestly, it's literally, look at the draw. I was hoping that Switzerland, Ukraine would get called off so I could get a game like this. But overall, I'm quietly looking forward to it, Josh.
I mean, it's an interesting game on paper. You can see the Gibraltar lineup 5-3-2 tonight for the home side. Colling is in goal, back five of Rowan, Olivero, Cipollina, Wiseman, and Sargent. Midfield three of Mueli, Analesi, and Badir. And then up top is Debar and Walker. And then for Liechtenstein tonight, 4-1-4-1, Hobbies in goal. Goppel, Hofer, Malin, and Brandl make the back four. Defensive midfield one with Buchel. Attacking midfield four of Kuhn, Hasler, Frommelt. And then just to top it off as well, there's two Fricks tonight as well. So we've got lots of duos and potentially twins going on. Two Fricks in there. Looking at the group very quickly as the games have kicked off, of course. It's a smaller group, this one. San Marino already played 4 games as they're done and dusted. Of course, got 2 clean sheets in a row, which is fantastic for them. Gibraltar on top with 7. Liechtenstein with 4. What do you think is going to happen tonight, Kieran?
I'll be honest. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. As you can see, combined in 3 games, we've got 4 goals between the 2 of them. So I'm expecting not much goals, but, I'll enjoy it as much as I can do. And, it's a big thing for these teams because they might get promoted to the next group. So good for any of the 2 sides who win tonight.
It certainly is indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran L, as always. We are now underway with tonight's fixtures across the board in the UEFA Nations League. Once again, for those of you that have just joined, welcome to the stream. If you're new, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. Very quickly, for those of you that want to know how things are working out tonight, Spain and Germany, it is winner takes all tonight in this main fixture between the 2 sides. Of course, Germany on 9 points, Spain on 8. France already through to the next round of this competition due to head-to-head against Portugal. France becoming better on that, of course, in their previous game, which means it could be all down to that Croatia and Sweden. Both of those teams desperately fighting for survival. Remember, the bottom team gets relegated in the Nations League. And then Faroe Islands and Malta, still plenty to play for in that one. Faroe Islands, though, doing very well indeed. Of course, both teams coming against each other tonight in that game, which will decipher who wins on the head-to-head system. And then, of course, Gibraltar looking like they could win the group, but you never know with Liechtenstein. But there's a few big games on tonight and a few small games. Do tell us in the chat which games you are going to be watching, because there's certainly a few feisty affairs going across the board. And you'll be able to see on the screen as well, it's not just those fixtures going on tonight across the board too. There's a few extra other UEFA Nations League fixtures going on tonight that you'll be able to see on your screen that I'm going to keep you up to date with. Those include Montenegro coming up against Cyprus, Luxembourg also taking on Azerbaijan, and Andorra are taking on Latvia as well. So there's a few extra smaller games going on, so keep your eyes out for it. Of course, we'll have to see what happens there. And KD's put in the chat, he can keep up to date, which is fantastic. He's got the games on the bet, which is always good indeed. Makes my life much easier when trying to find out who scored in the games. But we are underway in tonight's fixture between Spain and Germany. And this is it now. We are at the final section of the UEFA Nations League. Match day number 6. It is all going to be done and dusted by Wednesday night. And I think for a lot of people out there, you're probably quite thankful this tournament is done, of course. Some people have enjoyed it. I say I've kind of enjoyed some parts of it, other parts I haven't. And there's been some good games. Give the tournament some credit. The Germany-Switzerland game was an incredible match. There was the Turkey game against Russia a few days ago. That was a really, really good match. But I think for many people, they'll be very thankful that this tournament is going to be over and done with. But I am just going to very quickly run down some of the games, but I'm actually going to have to wait a second because there's already been a goal in one of tonight's game. France taking on Sweden, who's had the winning start. Kieran D.
Well, it's a poor start from France, and Sweden take the lead here. It's I think it's Klaassen with the goal. It's one of the midfielder Klaassen has scored it. It was a real calamity. The back of ball came in, Pogba cleared it. The Rabiot couldn't get to it, and Klaassen almost flicks it with his right foot, just to get any sort of touch on the ball, and it ricochets off Raphael Varane into the bottom corner. Lloris left stranded. But yeah, not the best start for France, and of course Sweden not wanting to get relegated tonight. They have the goal and they do lead on the night.
They do indeed, and you can see right now on the table as it currently stands, because Switzerland have scored in that game and made it 1-0 already, which is a fantastic start for them. It does mean that they would cement their place in third position on 6 points. The pressure would be on Croatia now to go and win their game. No pressure, of course, on them. I'm just going to very quickly try and find out what happened in their previous game. Sweden won it, so therefore it means, as it currently stands, Croatia will be down and out even if they won their match tonight. But thank you very much, KD, as always. Very greatly appreciated. Sweden with a 1-0 lead over France. It is the perfect start for the away side, who, of course, have that winning aggregate, not winning aggregate, in terms of head-to-head, winning on head-to-head against Croatia, which means if it stays like that, they will be surviving no matter what happens in that fixture tonight. But over to Spain and Germany, because we have our first big chance of the night. It is a free kick from just outside of the box, and this is a really, really good range for Spain to put this in the back of the net. It is literally just over the line, and Canales and Ramos are both standing over this free kick. We saw Mertens score a very good free kick for Belgium a few days ago. Can we see something similar here? 6 minutes on the clock. Germany's just organising their wall, and the referee blows his whistle. Free kick's going to be taken in just a moment. Ramos stands over it. Ramos hits it low to the bottom left-hand corner of the goal, and Manuel Neuer just tips it away from his goal. It's a simple save for the German. It's a fairly decent free kick, but ultimately doesn't land to anything. And, well, this is an exciting fixture because, of course, as we said, there's only 1 point separating these two sides, and, well, no pressure. Whoever wins the game is, of course, going to go on and win the group altogether. But even if you draw this game, of course, it works in the favour of Germany, then Spain. So Spain have to go out there tonight and put all the pressure on Germany. Germany could sit back if they want to, but I think they will look to hit on the break tonight and try and see if they can get a winning goal and, well, just close and kill this group off because, well, Spain, they've not been too convincing throughout this Nations League tournament. They picked up a draw against Germany in that previous game right at the very start of the tournament. They didn't look too convincing against Switzerland, of course. Ramos missing 2 penalties in that match. It was certainly a very, very nervy end to the Nations League campaign. And, well, it could cost them, depending on the result of what happens tonight. But John's put, come on, Malta. You love to see it. Of course, plenty of action tonight with those 2 games. I'll talk to you in a minute about who's covering what game, for those of you that are wondering, over tonight's action. And then Cal's put, hi, Josh, who do you think will win? I think Germany will win tonight 2-1. But as we said, Spain have to come out there tonight, and the pressure is going to be on Spain to, push forward and attack a little bit more in this match than Germany has to. So we could see a very good affair. And, well, even for Germany, this is just a big opportunity to show themselves off, isn't it, really? Look to open up the space that Spain are leaving open from the numbers going forward as they try to press for the leading goal. And, well, they've put a long ball here towards Timo Werner. He's going to lay the ball off to Leroy Sané. And, well, his pass was just a little bit too weak. And that is some really, really good defending at the back there from Pau Torres, who very nearly, I wouldn't say very nearly put it into the back of his net. Just looking at, I think Werner might have just been offside, but Pau Torres clears the ball either way. And, of course, with the new rules and how the system works across football, you have to play until the end of the phase of play completed. But they've got a corner here. Can Germany make the most of this as I open the first can of the night? Got to keep refreshed on a stream like this. So here we go. Germany corner, lobbed into the box. It's not the greatest of corners, which Ramos is able to clear away. And now Spain try to hit on the break. And that is an absolutely awful pass from Dani Olmo. Jesus Christ. That is a very, very poor pass indeed. And Spain can't hit on the break, unfortunately. But for those of you tonight that are wondering who is going to be covering each game, and apologies when I do take a drinks break, as I'm going to be covering Spain versus Germany. We have Kieran D covering the game between France and Sweden. Croatia and Portugal is covered by Will. Malta Faroe Islands is covered by Rowan. And then Gibraltar and Liechtenstein is covered by Kieran L. So plenty of action across the board indeed. And we've got an early injury in this match. 9 minutes on the clock. And we're going to have our first change of the game because Sergio Canales looks like he's pulled up here. Don't know whether he's pulled his thigh or whether he's pulled his hamstring. I think his thigh's just gone there, which is very unlucky indeed. And he's gone to clear the ball out of play because of the injury. And he's going to come off in this match. Which is a real shame because we're only 10 minutes into the game, but he comes off frustrated and we'll have that change already in the match after 10 minutes as well. We can see Luis Enrique there just giving him a pat on the back. Very unfortunate in terms of the situation at hand. So an early substitution will be happening in just a moment in this game. And let's hope that this is a good match tonight, because these are two teams that you have to say haven't been at the peak of their powers in the last year. Now, of course, we've already had not many fixtures on internationally because of COVID and things like that. But these two sides have struggled at times. I remember, of course, Germany drawing against Turkey a few months ago. They've had a really, really rough start. As for Spain, we spoke about their Nations League campaign not too long ago. It's been a little bit nervy. They've had a bit of a weakened side. We said about them before, this isn't the Spain team of the past, but you never know, of course. There's plenty of time for these players to improve, see some new players coming to these sides ahead of the Euros in about May or June time. But we still haven't had that change yet. The ball hasn't gone out of play. And just to keep our eyes out on the other fixtures across the night, we haven't had any other goals so far, apart from, in fact, we have had just a goal go in a moment ago, 1-0 to Latvia in their game against Andorra. I'm not even going to try and attempt. In fact, I am going to try and attempt to pronounce the name of the Latvia scorer. Antonis Cernamodis scores the goal in that match. So 1-0 to Latvia there. And we do have a chance. First, I was about to say first chance of the game. It's technically the second chance of the match between France and Sweden. You'd expect France to go out there and try and do something tonight. They might have won the group, but is it a chance for Sweden, Kieran?
Well, Josh, you won't like this. Olivier Giroud's just missed he had a free header in the box about 6 or 7 yards out, and he's headed it straight at the keeper. He made a really good save, to be fair, but, Olivier Giroud's normally burying them for you on Ultimate Team, isn't he?
He certainly is indeed, but of course he's trying to play nice today against Sweden. Doesn't want to, get a goal too early back in the game to break Swedish hearts, but big chance there for France. Thank you very much, KD, as always. If we put our Giroud by aside, which if you don't know, I love Giroud on FIFA, incredible player. By aside, he's got to be putting a chance like that away. Talking 1-1, you're back into the game. But remember tonight for France, they're already through into that knockout system, so it doesn't matter what happens tonight. Although the ball's just been given away here in this Spain-Germany game, could be a chance for Germany to get forward. Goretzka's going to have to lay it back in the end, and well, a mistake at the back there nearly cost the home side with potential early opportunity to make it 1-0 to Germany. And what's so weird is I don't get how this Germany side is off form, because realistically, when you look at this German team, the amount of players that this side has got that are from the Bayern Munich team and just German players that are naturally in form anyway. So, take into account Timo Werner is in incredible form right now for Chelsea and was in incredible form when he was at Leipzig anyway. The likes of Goretzka, who's in there. Of course, Neuer's in there. They've got some very good players. Gnabry as well, and another one who's in the Bayern Munich team, and Sane. They've got some great players in this side, and you have to think to yourself, how is a team like Germany being classed as a side that's been a little bit off form? And, well, Joachim Löw, of course, he's under a bit of pressure himself, unfortunately, too. Well, not unfortunately, he's under a little bit of a pressure to go out there and get a result, not just in the Nations League, but across the board. As Gnabry comes into the box, he tries to curl an effort into the top right-hand corner, but some good defending there at the back from Sergio Ramos means that chance doesn't go into the back of the net. But we have had another goal on the night. He's in one of the games that we're not currently watching, but of course we're keeping our eyes out on every fixture this evening. We have a goal in the game between Montenegro and Cyprus, 1-0 to Montenegro, and who else is it going to be but Stevan Jovetic? He seems to be on fire right now for his national side. Doesn't really tend to play as much for Monaco, but he's got the opening goal in that game, which is certainly good to see indeed. And what I'm going to do very quickly here, 1, 2, 3, is put that Andorra-Latvia game on the score, because that's the only other game that's going on tonight that I haven't included. So we might as well chuck it on there and cover every match tonight. But 1-0 to Montenegro in that game. Fantastic start for them. And that is already 3 goals on the night after 15 minutes. If you're wondering what games we're covering tonight specifically, there's 5 games across the board. I've got the Spain-Germany game. Kieran D has France versus Sweden, which of course Sweden currently 1-0 up in that match. And then we're also covering the likes of Croatia, Portugal, Malta, Faroe Islands, and Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. We're repping some of the smaller games tonight because, well, some of the smaller games in the Nations League have certainly been enjoyable to watch so far. There's been a few goals in them and a bit of action and could we maybe see a few goals tonight? We will have to find out indeed. But as for now, in this Spain game, we're currently in the defensive half of play as Spain look to push forward. Remember, they have to go out there and win this game tonight, or else they will not be going through into the next round of the Nations League. And the ball currently stands on the left back position with Gaia. Now I'm going to push the ball up to Koke. Spain play with 4-1-4-1 system currently, just a slight tweak of the system. And I have to say, after these first 15 minutes, there has been a few passes from this Spanish side that have gone a little bit shy of their intended targets. And that could be a worry for Luis Enrique. Maybe it's a little bit of nerves, although I doubt it's going to be nerves more than anything. But they're coming forward now on that right wing. It's Ferran Torres, tries to guide a ball into the box. His deflection, though, is going to put it out for a corner. As we go back to KD, he's had the game of the night so far. Sweden, of course, 1-0 up in this match. France had a big opportunity a moment ago. Have Sweden made it 2-0, or are France back in the game, Kieran?
No, it's 1-1, and it's an absolutely electric counter-attack from France. It's Marcus Thuram, a little bit of skill on the left-hand side, pulls it back, and who's there? Number 9, Olivier Giroud, smacks it into the bottom corner and equalises for France. Really good finish from him as well. This has been coming, but yeah, 1-1.
It sounds like it indeed. Well, I told you earlier, Olivier Giroud was just taking things very lightly. And we have a goal here as well. Thank you very much, Katie, as always, because Spain have taken the lead. Alvaro Morata from the corner that was given from Ferran Torres' cross that was deflected. He's at the back post. It's a really good header from the back post on the left-hand side. And Alvaro Morata puts Spain into the lead in this big fixture. We'll have a look at the groups in a moment. But that is just an absolutely outstanding header at the back post. There is no chance any goalkeeper in the world is saving a header like that. It's just clinical Alvaro Morata at his very best. 1-0 Spain. And we'll have a look at the group in a moment because there's been another goal elsewhere. Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. Of course, one of the bigger games tonight. The question is, who's taking the lead? Kieran?
Well, it's a massive game, Josh, and it's time for massive footballers. It's an own goal. Gibraltar have took the lead in this game. It's kind of a goal you'd probably expect from a fixture like this. It's a corner. Badr Hassan wins the header at the near post and he just flicks it back into just an area. It's full of bodies and unfortunately it's deflected off the Liechtenstein defender into his own net. And it's 1-0 Gibraltar and they celebrated. It means a lot to them and it's lovely to see.
It's always fantastic to see. It's nice to cover some of the smaller fixtures tonight with some of the less accredited teams. And of course, already got a goal in the game, which is fantastic, considering these are some of the lowest scoring sides in the competition so far. But we've already got a goal in that match. Thank you very much, Kieran L, as always, as Gibraltar take a 1-0 lead against Liechtenstein. Fantastic to see indeed some of those smaller teams getting repped tonight already with a goal in that game. So let's have a quick look across the board and see how the rankings are currently looking. Of course, we said a moment ago that Sweden had equalised against France, which means with that group, of course, it now puts Sweden back to the bottom of the table. France, of course, already through to the next round anyway on 14 points. Sweden must go out there tonight and win, although, well, as you can see, 4 points would be a real shame for them to get relegated. They've got to go out there and win tonight. The pressure really is on them indeed. As for the Spain-Germany game, because Spain have taken the lead in this match, Germany have now got to come out and go all guns blazing because they sit second. Spain go top. Will they backdoor it on the final day of the Nations League? We'll have to find out indeed, of course. But we're going to go back to KL and have a look at his game because he's certainly been energetic so far between Gibraltar and Liechtenstein. Is it another chance for Gibraltar or Liechtenstein trying to get an instant equaliser?
It was almost an instant equaliser, to be fair, and it was a good strike. It was Goppel, the left-back, who picked it up just outside the edge of the area, I'd say about 20 yards on the left-hand side. He took a strike at goal and he hit it and it just bounced in front of the keeper calling. But he does well to get strong hands to it. The deflection leads to nothing. But for Liechtenstein, maybe, test the keeper. They've nearly got an equaliser. It was slow for 15 minutes, Josh, but this last 5 minutes, they've picked it up.
Certainly can't complain indeed. Big chance there for Liechtenstein to equalise in the game. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Very greatly appreciated. Good start to these smaller fixtures tonight. And talking about Gibraltar, Liechtenstein, of course, let's have a look at that group and see how the complexions of things stands right now after that goal. So there we go. As you can see on the screen, Gibraltar would be dominating that group. 10 points in comparison to Liechtenstein's 4, and of course San Marino's 2. But let's be honest, San Marino will be absolutely delighted that they've picked up even 1 point in their group. So as it currently stands, Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 0, which means Gibraltar will finish top of their group in the Nations League. Fantastic for some of these smaller nations with this competition to be able to go out there, play some of the sides that are probably to their standards and have much more competitive games. But Spain are in here again, and this is a big chance. And Ferran Torres has missed it, and it is going to be given as offside anyway. But he was on the inside of the box on the right, towards the right-hand side of the post. He takes the shot on the half volley, and well, I thought we could have been maybe saying Spain 2, Germany 0. But of course, the phase of play has to continue. The ball goes out of play, and then eventually the linesman puts his flag up in the end. And just rule out any chance of that being counted as at least a shot on target or anything like that. But 20 minutes on the clock now. Spain have the foothold in this group, and this is why this game is going to be so interesting because, quite frankly, you have to look at these two teams. And I thought maybe Germany would have took a foothold in this match, but they conceded early, and now it's role reversal. Spain, they could sit back if they wanted to. I don't think it's probably the best way to play against a side like Germany. It's probably better to go out there and see if you can get 1 or 2 more goals and really kill this game off. As for Germany, they've got to push now. They've got to go out there and try and win this game, and it should be a back and forth match. And if we can have goals in it, of course, we've already had 1 in the match. If we can have more goals, then that would be absolutely fantastic indeed. But we are 20 minutes into tonight's fixtures, nearly halfway through these matches. And as it currently stands across the board in tonight's fixtures, Spain with a 1-0 lead against Germany. The game of the night so far is France 1, Sweden 1. We've had no goals yet between Croatia and Portugal. Of course, that one's going to be a very tight affair indeed. Malta 0, Faroe Islands 0. And then Gibraltar with a 1-0 lead against Liechtenstein. Not a bad start to that match at all. And then a couple of other games going on in the background tonight that you can see. Montenegro 1-0 up against Cyprus, courtesy of Stevan Jovetic. And Latvia 1-0 up against Andorra. So a few nice early goals across the board tonight as we reach the 25th minute mark. And if you have enjoyed the goal show so far, do leave a like and a subscription. It's always very greatly appreciated. We've got more watch-alongs to come on the channel and goal shows as well because the Champions League is back next Tuesday and Wednesday. And of course, we're covering every game live. So do keep your eyes out for it as always because we've got the repeat fixtures from match day 3 reversed this time. So we've got RB Leipzig taking on PSG. We've got Manchester United at home against Istanbul Basaksehir here, and a couple of other games going on in the background as well. So keep your eyes out for those fixtures because it should be good. And we should have plenty of goals, which is always nice in the Champions League. But let's go back to this game between Spain and Germany because Spain are coming forward here. This could be a great chance to make it 2-0. It's Sergio Roberto playing as a right winger. Lays the ball off to Ferran Torres at the edge of the box. He's in on the right wing. Tries to lay the ball to Morata. And I don't know whether that's going to count or not, and I don't think it is. And while Ferran Torres looks disappointed, so does Morata, because he is the king of the offside goal, and that flag is up. It's not going to count. And well, it's so unlucky indeed. And we're just looking at it now to see whether it's the right call or not here. Is it going to be the right decision? Let's have a check and find out. The ball's played. Tries to get it to Morata. And I think it's a hard one to tell here because, of course, they don't actually stop the play. So I can't see whether Morata was actually fully offside or not. I think it's the right decision in the end. But a big chance there for Spain to get that second goal in this match. And you've got to say, Germany, on their big night in the Nations League, look very, very worrying. Not really had many chances so far in this game. And defensively look really, really poor. So not good at all. And I said, originally it was Spain. That was the team that had kind of looked very nervy in this competition. They played Switzerland, didn't really do too well in that match. That first kind of 10 or 15 minutes, it was fairly even between the two sides. But looks like Spain get their foothold in this match, of course, at home in this fixture. So you'd expect them to be kind of dominate a game like this a little bit more. But 25 minutes on the clock here. Spain 1, Germany 0. And I wasn't expecting a few goals early on. Well, a goal early on in this game. But, we're coming back to Carl's point earlier. It should be a good game, hoping for great play, lots of goals. I think now we could see a few more goals. And, well, Spain are coming forward yet again here. Morata at the edge of the box. And, well, less said about that opportunity, the better. He's just on the outside of the box. He tries to take on a long-range effort, and he was never going to test Manuel Neuer. Really, really poor chance there from Alvaro Morata. doesn't lead to anything in the end. And I have to say, that decision, in my opinion, looking at that, is very, very tough to call. If that was VAR, I think the lines would have been out for a situation like that. But it's been given as offside in the end. But we've had another goal elsewhere in one of tonight's fixtures that we aren't covering. And, well, if you're a Montenegro fan, you'll be absolutely delighted right now because you're 2-0 up against Cyprus. Good start to that game. Alexander Boljevic with the second goal of that match after Stevan Jovetic's opener. 2-0 to Montenegro. Nice start to their game. And I'm just having a look at the group right now. As it currently stands in their group, which they currently sit in League C, they will finish top of the group on 13 points and go up into League B, I believe, which is fantastic for them. But Spain are coming forward yet again here, dominating this game so far. And I have to say, Ferran Torres has had a hell of a lot of the ball. Really dominated on this right wing. And, you know, Germany don't seem to be able to kind of keep hold of Spain right now. I kind of worry about why they're playing Ginter as a right back. I feel like he's very susceptible to being opened up because he's not necessarily the quickest of players in the world. But at the same time, it's that left-hand side which has been dominated. Ferran Torres just blitzing down numerous times already in this game and having opportunities, but still only 1-0. Plenty of time for Germany to get an equaliser. And they're coming forward now. Timo Werner on the left wing, just outside of the box. What can he do? Lays the ball off to Philip Max, who tries to cross it towards the path of Gnabry, who's inside the box. Ramos gets the touch. It's cleared away, and it's going out of play here for a corner. Big chance for Germany to try and get an equaliser in this game, and once again put the pressure on Spain. So let's see what happens here, of course. The corner is going to be played short. Laid off to Ilkay Gundogan, who's going to lay it to the edge of the box to Leroy Sané, who keeps going on that right wing. And eventually some great defending there from Rodri. Just keeps himself tight towards Leroy Sané, gets the ball back instantly and breaks up the play in a heartbeat. And now Spain are trying to come forward here, driving. It's Dani Olmo on that left-hand side who just cannot get a touch, which is a real shame indeed. But 25 minutes on the clock, well, 27 to be precise. It's been a fairly quiet night so far in the majority of games. France versus Sweden being the best game of the night, with 2 goals in that game so far. As for Spain, Germany, we've had a goal in this match. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Portugal. Remember, Portugal looking fairly strong tonight, but France already through to the next round. As we have got a yellow card in that game between France and Sweden. Early yellow for Christopher Olsen, who goes into the book, which is certainly not what you want to see after 27 minutes to already get a booking in this game and be under a lot of pressure to not make stupid tackles. Because, you'll know if you're a regular on the channel, we had a fair few red cards in those previous fixtures that were played a few days ago. And, well, what a start to the night for Montenegro, because we've had another goal in that game. Montenegro and I 3-0 up against Cyprus. This one could get very, very dirty very quickly in terms of the scoreline. 3-0 to them now. Another goal in that game for Alexander Boljevic. 2 goals in 3 minutes. They're battering Cyprus in that match. 3-0 to the good. And a fantastic game indeed. But we've got another goal elsewhere. This time we are going over to Will. I said a moment ago that his game hadn't had any goals. He's got a goal now. But the question is, if Croatia got that goal that could save them, or if Portugal made it 1-0. Who is it, Will?
It's 1-0 to Croatia. It's a massive goal for them. And it's come from really poor defending, in my opinion, from Portugal. The ball's whipped in. I think it's Juranovic, the right back for Croatia, gets down the line. He puts it into the middle. It's a really, really poor clearance from Semedo, who's playing centre-back tonight. It drops down for Vlasic, who puts it into the middle. Kovacic is coming flying in. The first shot saved by the keeper, but he puts in the rebound. And Croatia lead. It's been a quiet game, but Croatia take the lead in the game they must win, with Sweden playing well against France.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Will. As always, as Will perfectly said there, it's a big game for Croatia tonight. They have to win this match if they want to survive. Remember, Sweden have the head-to-head over them. And as it currently stands now in that group, let me take the scoreline off the screen because you can see that right now, Croatia will survive in the Nations League. Sweden, they've got to go out there and win, and they're still fighting against France, but it might not be enough even with a draw. Well, it won't be enough even with a draw tonight unless Croatia in the end lose their match. But as it stands, Croatia 1-0 up against Portugal. Big goal in that group, and the Nations League is certainly hotting up. We've got 60 minutes left of action. Spain are in again here. Ferran Torres, what a save from Manuel Neuer. And they are absolutely battering Germany right now with opportunities, and that is a massive save from Neuer. He might have just kept his side in contention for a Nations League knockout spot. He's pretty much one-on-one with Manuel Neuer on the right wing. He just makes himself look big. He gets his left leg down. He's able to push it away from his goal. And Ferran Torres should have been walking away here with a second goal on the night for Spain in his first of the evening. But they've got a corner. And Manuel Neuer with a world-class save. We know how good he is on his day. And that was an absolutely quality save indeed. But we've got a corner here. We saw they scored from that previous corner they got earlier in the game from Alvaro Morata. Can we see a similar situation going on here? Ball's lobbed into the box. Eventually, it's cleared away by of all people, Toni Kroos getting his head on it there. And eventually, it's going to be cleared all the way back to Unai Simon in the goal. And well, they are dominating this match right now, Spain. It is relentless opportunities left, right and centre. Germany just can't seem to have a real kind of spell of possession on the ball right now. The instant minute Spain are getting it, they're looking to hit on the break, get a goal. And as I said before, the last thing you want to do against the German side is to sit back and let Germany attack you. Spain aren't doing that. They're going out there and they're looking for that second or third goal in the match to really kill this game off. And hopefully we'll have a few more goals in this game, because right now it feels like, if anything, we could see a second or third goal from Spain. Well, we could have had 2 or 3 goals already from this side, but they've just got to keep themselves well and truly tight in this match, and don't let Germany get a foothold of this game, or else you are going to be under severe pressure, especially with that defence. It's not the defence of the past that we used to know with the likes of Ramos and Puyol and the big players like that. Of course, Ramos is still there, but Ramos and Pau Torres and Sergio Roberto and Gaia, it's a very, very different Spanish team, as they have a bit of possession in the defensive play of the pitch right now. But yeah, going back to what we talked about a moment ago, Montenegro, what a fantastic start for them. 3-0 up now, absolutely dominating in their game. And of course, it's not the most recognisable team, Montenegro. They've got a few decent players in there. They've got Jovetic, they've got Marasic as well. They've got a few other players on the side that, people might recognise from some European teams. But certainly great performance from them. And I think the most recognisable player on the pitch, Stefan Jovetic, does have a goal to his name as Spain come forward once again here. It's going to be a ball from Pau Torres, lays it off to Ferran Torres, who's gone down in the box. Referee's not going to say anything about a penalty. Neither has Ferran Torres asked for one. I don't know why I said Pau Torres at first. It was Sergio Roberto who played the ball into Ferran Torres. Of course, there's 2 Torres on the pitch tonight. But it was a run from Sergio Roberto on the right wing. And they could come forward once again here. A ball sprayed into the box from Fabian Ruiz into the path of Morata. Doesn't reach him in the end, but it's going to come to Jose Gaia on the left wing. He's going to look to spray the ball into the box. He's actually going to lay it off in the end for Ferran Torres on the left wing. Now it's in the middle for Fabian Ruiz. Some good football here from Spain. Really trying to make the most of the spell of possession. Ball's lobbed into the box towards Dani Olmo. He's in the bar. He's going to come down on the rebound. It's 2-0 Spain. And it's a goal for the substitute. No, he's not. Ferran Torres. He's got the goal in the end. And it's well and truly deserved. And well, I said a moment ago, how about, that Ferran Torres had that chance earlier, that Manuel Neuer made the save. And well, I think right now, Luis Enrique knows how pivotal that goal is in this group. They had to go and get a second goal in this game, really make sure that Germany were going to be under severe pressure. And I thought at first Dani Olmo had scored. His header had hit the bar. Very luckily for Spain, that rebound from the bar comes into the path of Ferran Torres. He hits it on the half volley. There's not much Manuel Neuer can do about it. He's literally just got up from that potential save he could have made from the Dani Olmo header. And Ferran Torres, the man who could have had a goal a few minutes ago, gets his goal. It's 2-0 Spain. And surely now Germany have to go gung-ho if they want to get back into this game. And well, I'm just seeing right now, Koke, just seeing what's happened there. And he's celebrating, bless him. He originally put the cross into the box that went into the path of Dani Olmo, and the Spanish player celebrating, knowing how crucial that goal is in the group. 2-0 Spain. Germany have a lot of work to do. Pressure on them now to go out there and try and get a goal back in this match. And well, we said earlier about how we wanted goals in this game. It's already delivered as 2 goals. And well, Germany coming forward here. This could be a good chance. Long ball guided towards Timo Werner, but he is offside. And even if he wasn't offside, Unai Simon had come out of his goal anyway and cleared the ball away. But what a fantastic start to this match. 35 minutes on the clock. Spain 2, Germany 0. It does seem like it's a little bit quiet elsewhere tonight, but this big game between two massive sides is certainly delivering for Spain, not for Germany. It's been a little bit worrying, I have to say, for Germany right now. It doesn't feel like they're going to get anything in this match. In fact, they've not had a shot on target, as far as I'm aware, as of yet in this game. And if you're Spain right now, with how this German side started this first 35 minutes, I'd keep peppering them. Keep going for it. They're not necessarily pushing numbers forward, Spain. They're looking very organised tonight, but keep going at them. See if you can get 3, 4, or 5 and really embarrass this German side. But we are going to go back to Kieran D because there's been a big goal in the game between France and Sweden. Of course, Sweden, they've got to go and win this game tonight if they don't want to get relegated from League A in the Nations League. The question is it a Sweden goal or have France taken an expected lead? Kieran D.
Well, it gets worse for Sweden because France are in front for the first time on the night, and it is an absolutely outstanding goal from start to finish. Marcus Thuram picks it up just outside the area, shimmies past 2, roulettes round another, has the shot which is initially blocked by Lindelof, falls to Benjamin Pavard on the volley. It's a little bit closer than the one that he did in the World Cup. He's inside the area, hits on his right foot, and it arrows into that bottom left-hand corner of the net. A really good goal from France. And Marcus Thuram has been absolutely fantastic tonight.
What a fantastic game indeed. France 2, Sweden 1. And as you perfectly said, Kieren, things are getting worse for Sweden. Thank you very much, as always, Kieren. As you can see right now with the group, as it currently stands, well, that really does doom Sweden to relegation in the group. Remember, if you've just joined us and you don't know how the Nations League works, if you finish top of your group, you go into the Nations League knockout stages if you're in League A. If you were at the bottom, you get relegated, which means as it currently stands, Sweden have to score 2 goals and rely on Croatia losing their game if they want to stay in the Nations League, which, of course, as of right now, as it currently stands, Croatia have beaten Portugal anyway, which means they will be doomed to relegation in the Nations League. France 2, Sweden 1. Sounds like an absolutely enthralling game so far. France really are starting to dominate that game as you would expect them to do. And talking about domination in this match between Spain and Germany, it is 2-0 as it currently stands to Spain. And Carl's, I have to agree with you, what Carl said in the chat. Germany are done. I don't see them coming back with the way they're playing. Honestly, Spain scoring more. And well, just as you say that, Kyle, they're coming forward again here. It's going to be Alvaro Morata. There could be a chance for him to lay it into the path of Ferran Torres, but his cross is weak. And honestly, right now, this is really, really poor from Germany. Really poor. If I was Joachim Low right now, I'd be incredibly worried because they look so open, so susceptible. And, right, this is still a competitive game. This isn't a case of sitting back and pretending like they don't care because realistically, tonight was a case of either of these sides. They were going for it. If you win, you go into the knockout stages as the ball's lofted into the box. It's 3-0. Spain, they've done it. As I said, just keep battering this German side, and they're 3-0 to the good from another corner, another set piece in this game, and this is seriously becoming embarrassing for Germany. I mean, I didn't expect this game to go the way it is, and it's another goal in this game, and this time I think it's Rodri who gets his header into the back of the net. It's 3-0 Spain, and it feels like an international Bayern Munich versus Barcelona, but this time it's role reversal. It's Spain giving the battering to Germany. It is indeed Rodri who gets his head onto it. It's a lovely header, puts it into the bottom right-hand corner. Once again, I have to give credit to him. There's no chance that Manuel Neuer is saving it. It's just another good, really worked corner. Luis Enrique buzzing with this performance, and I have to say, this could get, well, it already could, pretty much is embarrassing. This could get even more embarrassing. Spain 3, Germany 0. But let's go over across the board now. There's been chances in a few of the other games tonight. Let's go over to Will first. Big chance in the game between Croatia and Portugal. Who has had that chance, Will?
It was a chance for Portugal, and the last 10 minutes or so, they've really started playing well here. They're trying to get back into the game. It comes from a free kick. The ball's whipped into the area. Croatia don't really deal with it enough, and it falls to Danilo Pereira, who hits a really nice strike on the volley, but it's straight at the keeper, really, but it's still a very, very good save from the Croatian goalkeeper. But Portugal, like I said, these last 10 minutes, they're playing much better, and they're looking to get the equaliser.
Certainly are indeed. Thank you very much, Will, as always, of course, for Portugal tonight. It doesn't mean anything because France are already through to the next round of the competition. Of course, it's all about pride, but they've still got plenty of players on the pitch, including Ronaldo. So we could see a potential equaliser in this game. I'm going to go over to Kieran D in a moment for his chance. Well, I thought Spain were coming forward once again here. They are really hungry to smash this German team tonight. But we will go over to KD now. There's been a chance of this game between France and Sweden. Are Sweden getting back into this game, Kieran?
No, not at all. France are absolutely dominating. And the match winner, as the scoreline stands at the moment, Benjamin Pavard, playing really well tonight. Played a ball into the middle for Adrian Rabiot. He's about 35 yards out, just thinks, I'm hitting this, hits it, takes a deflection, and Olsen, with probably one of the best saves I've seen for quite some time. France are coming forward again, though. The counter-attack tonight has been absolutely fantastic, and this one who's on the ball now, Marcus Thuram on the left-hand side of the penalty area, onto his right foot, arches round two and does get tackled, but he has been fantastic tonight, and France almost extend the lead further. And 2-1 still.
Thank you very much, KD. It sounds like this one could turn into a batter in itself. Sweden took the lead in this game. France getting 2 goals back means they're now in the lead with about 5 minutes left of action of the first half. But with the way that one sounds, it could get a little bit feisty with the goals, which, of course, we won't complain about indeed, of course. As it stands, France 2, Sweden 1, Spain 3, Germany 0. And we've got a break in play right now. I think Ginter's just gone down holding his neck. Hopefully he's all right there. But honestly, that Rodri header was just an absolutely fantastic goal in Germany. This is awful because they're coming forward once again here. Spain, it's a long-range effort from Dani Olmo, and it's just a little bit too high. And honestly, right now, I genuinely worry for Germany that this could get a lot worse. And what happens in the second half here could be vital because, look, at the end of the day, this could potentially see Joachim Löw under severe pressure with his job. And of course, it all depends on what happens in the next 45 minutes of action as Ramos has gone down here. And I don't think Ramos is going to be able to continue. He's holding his thigh, very similar to Canales earlier. We could have a second injury on the night and another substitute. But I have to say, I think tonight, depending on what happens here with the rest of the match, I think this genuinely could cost Joachim Löw his job. The Nations League isn't pivotal, right? It's not an essential thing for them to go and win. Neither is it. It's probably not essential for them to get into the knockout stages. But with the context of the way that this game is going, they've had no shots on target in the game so far. They've had no opportunities where I've said, you know what, fair play to them. They could have had a goal. It's fairly worrying. And if this ends, 4-5, 6-0, which I could see it ending right now, I would be very worried for Joachim Löw. And I think we could maybe see in the next few days him lose his job because, look, at the end of the day, they had a foothold in this Nations League group. They've lost it. And then now it looks like they've not just lost it, they've completely bottled it at the ending stage. But Sergio Ramos has had to come off with an injury. Looks like something to do with his thigh there as he talks to some of the physios, which is certainly not good indeed as Spain have to make their second change of the match already. And it's going to be Eric Garcia, the young Manchester City defender, who comes onto the pitch with a few minutes left of the second half. And, well, we've had a lot of injuries throughout this Nations League tournament over the last few days, which is why there's been that question begged of whether these games should have been played or not. But the ball's been given away here. And Spain are coming forward once again. Dani Olmo's got round one defender, but good clearance this time from Nicolas Sewell. And there might be one more chance in this first half for Spain to try and get another goal in this game and make it 4-0. And Eric Garcia just having a few early touches in this match as he's come on as a substitute a moment ago. And I think there's one more chance in this game, I'm not going to lie. 1 minute, 30 seconds left. And Rowan's put in the chat, Spain without the S. It certainly is a pain right now if you're the Germany manager because Spain just battering them. But we are going to go over to Kieren because in one of the smaller games tonight, Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. Gibraltar took an early lead in that game, courtesy of an own goal. Are they 2-0 up now? Or Liechtenstein back in the game, Kieran?
Liechtenstein are back in the game, and it's another poor goal. It's a free kick midway through the half on the left-hand side. It's whipped into the box. The striker connects with the header. The goalkeeper saves it with his foot, but straight into the path of the attacker, who mishits it, and it's bobbling slowly towards the goal. And I'm just going to check who prods it home. It's just going over the line, and I can't see, Josh. Someone has prodded it home. It's Number 10, which is one of the Fricks. Noah Frick.
One of the Fricks?
Noah
That's the
Frick.
one.
There you go. 1-1.
Good to see one of the Fricks getting on the score sheet tonight. I mean, if we can have the second Frick as well get on the score sheet, there's a perfect night for Liechtenstein, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a calamity of a goal, as was the first. So it's been fun to watch. Hopefully the Frick can improve in the second half.
Yeah, hopefully the other Frick can get a goal indeed. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1 in one of the smaller games tonight. Remember, it doesn't mean a lot to those sides. And we thought, why not cover them? Because, of course, there's not really many... there's a few big games going on tonight, but for the smaller teams, they, of course, take centre stage as well. As Spain come forward here, Ferran Torres on the right wing. He's through on goal. Still going, 1-on-1. Can he go around? Going to lay it off in the end for Koke, who... Oh, it's a poor ball. You can see Rodri just coming towards the edge of the box. And I thought there we were going to see an absolutely spectacular Ferran Torres solo goal. He just decides to lay it off in the end and not be greedy to Koke. But Koke then tries to lay it off towards the edge of the box with a really poor pass. And now there could be one chance here for Germany to have a bit of hope to get a goal before half-time. Can they do it indeed? It's going to be Gnabry who tries to lay a ball off to Sane. It's a really poor ball indeed. And that pretty much sums up Germany's first 45 minutes of action. And well, as we get to the 45th minute mark, we've got 2 minutes of additional time here. We have already got to half-time in 2 of the fixtures tonight. Half-time between Croatia and Portugal. Croatia with a 1-0 lead in that game. Remember, they have to win tonight if they want to survive in the Nations League and not get relegated from League A. And they're doing exactly what they need to. Croatia 1, Portugal 0. We'll talk about that in a little moment. Rowan's game is at half-time as well. Malta 0, Faroe Islands 0. Certainly sounds like it's been a dramatic game of football so far. We'll go over to Rowan and see what's been happening in a little bit when all of the games have finished. And then Kieran, it's half-time in this game. France 2, Sweden 1. Sweden took the lead in that game. France with 2 goals, though. They've dominated that match so far and look like they're going to continue that dominance in the second half. But we've got one more chance here for Spain to come forward just before half-time. Ferran Torres just outside the box on the right wing, trying to dance his way forward, get one more opportunity for this Spanish side. Ball's going to come down for Koke, tries to lay a ball into the box, and unfortunately for Spain, it lands with Manuel Neuer, and with 6 seconds to go, it looks like we're going to get no more chances here with the referee having his whistle in his mouth. She does blow the whistle indeed. And Germany, if the fans were in the stadium tonight, they would be getting booed big time. An absolutely embarrassing performance from Germany so far in this first 45. It's the international role reversal of Bayern Munich against Barcelona. This time Germany getting the spanking and Spain giving them the beating. Goals from Rodri, Ferran Torres and Morata means that this Germany side has a lot of work to do. They need to score 4 goals in the second half for what would be probably a Nations League all-time classic if it was to happen. But with the way that this team has been right now, as I said, I think Joachim Löw, if this continues on in the second half, I genuinely think we might see Joachim Löw getting sacked because that is just an absolutely embarrassing performance indeed. And we're now at half-time across all the games that we're covering tonight. 1-1 between Gibraltar and Liechtenstein. Not being the most amazing game in terms of the goals, but there's been 2 goals indeed. Not the most amazing in how they've come, but I don't think Kieran will care because there's 2 goals in his match from some of the sides that are the lowest scoring teams across the board in the Nations League, as you would expect. So we're at half-time now across the board in every single game in the Nations League. At half-time, as it currently stands, Spain 3-0 up against Germany. That has got to be the performance of the night so far, but it's been closely covered by France and Sweden. Sweden were 1-0 up in that game. France now 2-1 up. You could also say Croatia with the performance of the night so far. They're 1-0 up against Portugal. Croatia need to win tonight, which we'll look at the groups in just a little moment's time. Malta 0, Faroe Islands 0. Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1. Montenegro 3-0 up against Cyprus. Luxembourg 0, Azerbaijan 0, which Luxembourg just missed a penalty a moment ago against Azerbaijan to lead in that game. And then Andorra 0, Latvia 1. So plenty of action and plenty of goals across the board in tonight's Nations League games, which is always fantastic to see if you are the neutral. But don't you worry, because we've got plenty more content to still come on the channel. So if you do, as always, do leave a like and subscription if you have enjoyed these streams so far in the Goal Show, because you can see on your screen right now, there's more content to come. As you can see, we've got Match Day 6 Goal Show live tomorrow. The last Nations League fixtures were live from 7:30 for those games. Then we're back with club football on Friday night. We're going to be covering Monaco versus PSG live from 7:45. Then Saturday, still to be confirmed which fixtures we're going to have alongside. But we've got Tottenham versus Manchester City at 5:15. And then we've got Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, which is coming straight afterwards at 7:50. As I said before, could be more games on Saturday. It's a bumper day of action. And then we're back on Tuesday, Groups E to H of the Champions League Match Day 4 Goals Show. It includes the likes of Barcelona, Manchester United, PSG and Dortmund, all playing fixtures. You can join us for the Goal Show, which will be covering the Champions League as always. But we are half-time of these fixtures. Let's go through all the games. We're going to talk through the stats, the analytics, and everything that's gone on. But I think we have to talk, first of all, about Spain and Germany, because it has been an absolutely embarrassing performance. They're dominating right now, Spain. 14 shots, 6 on target. Germany, 1 shot, 0 on target. They've had 35% possession to Spain 65. And I think the perfect way to describe it right now is exactly what Kyle's put in the chat. Spain are playing like the team of 2012. Entertaining football. If they play like this again, then I can see them winning the Nations League, which is mad, considering when they played Switzerland a few days ago, they looked really poor for the majority of the game. It took them quite a while to get back into the match, and Switzerland looked like the better side until there was a red card in that game. But either way, they are looking incredible right now, this Spain side. Really does look like that this could get a lot worse with 45 minutes left. And, well, we're either A, going to see no more goals, B, we'll see Spain continue their dominance and get more goals and make this even more embarrassing. Or C, which would be absolutely incredible in the Nations League, we get the greatest comeback, surely, in recent international history. Germany have to score 4 goals if they want to get through to the Nations League knockout stages. It's probably not going to happen with our Germany playing tonight. But that is the game between Spain and Germany, 3-0 at half-time. There's a lot of work to do for Germany if they want to try and even get a point and not have this game become incredibly embarrassing. Right, let's go over to some of the other games that the boys covering tonight. France taking on Sweden, another big game tonight. That's been Sweden took the lead in this game, didn't they, Kieran? Indeed, but France ultimately getting back into this match. It sounds like they've dominated for a large spell of this game.
Yeah, it's gone the way that you'd have thought. Sweden, the goal really came from nothing. Really, it was just a little poke from a deflection and deflected obviously into the net. But I mean, apart from that, they've done nothing coming forward. They've probably had about 2 shots, I think. I can count. France have probably had about 6 or 7, maybe even 8. They have been absolutely dominant on the night. Marcus Thuram justifying his selection very well. And Benjamin Pavard. Those two probably been the best players on the night for France. But I can see more goals in the second half. Of course, Sweden fighting for their Nations League status. And should be an entertaining one, as the first half has been too.
It should be indeed. I mean, the important thing for Sweden, of course, is that they're still in the game. Of course, 2 goals is going to be very tough for them. But as you said, in terms of the shots, France have had 8 shots, 5 on target. Sweden have had 3 shots, 1 on target. France with 56% possession. Sweden with 44% possession. For Sweden right now, they've got to score 2 goals and hope that Croatia loses, which we'll talk to Will in a moment about that game. Can you see any unlikely chance of this Sweden side, providing an incredible comeback?
Well, I mean, we say unlikely, but literally right before half-time, they had a shout for a penalty when they brought on the right side. Kulusevski got into the box and kind of collided with Raphael Varane. And from the replay, it looked to me like Varane didn't take any of the ball. So probably should have been a penalty. But yeah, they can get at France. They're good on the counter. They've got dangerous players that can hurt them, of course. Marcus Berg gets in the right area. He can finish. Kulusevski's young enough to go for full 90 minutes. I mean, it should be quite a good second half because, of course, Sweden need to come out now, like you said, score 2 goals.
Certainly do indeed. And just have a look at the bench. They've got a few other players they can bring on attacking-wise. Alexander Isak probably being the standout player. They've got Robin Kajson as well. So we could see a few of those players come on a little bit later on into the game and try and push. Remember, they need 2 goals. It's paramount they win this match. And, well, you never know with this French side. Could they bottle it? We'll have to find out. But thank you very much, KD, as always. France 2, Sweden 1 at half-time. That could get feisty indeed. And, well, we asked the question, in the previous stream, will teams go all out in these fixtures to try and get the victory? And I have to say, with those 2 matches so far, you could probably say, yeah, Sweden doing all right, trying to get back into the game. And well, Spain just going gung-ho tonight, and it's working out perfectly for them. Really enjoyable performance. But let's go over to the other game in that group alongside France and Sweden, Croatia and Portugal. Now, remember, for Croatia tonight, they also have to win as well. Now, Sweden head-to-head beat Croatia, which means that if both teams have same points tonight, Sweden would go above Croatia. But it doesn't matter right now because Croatia are doing exactly what they need to right now. They're 1-0 up against Portugal. And the question is, Will, is it a deserved lead, or do Portugal, do you think, deserve to have a goal back in this game at the very least?
It's been a tight game, I will say that. Croatia were the better side for the first 25 minutes or so. Portugal got themselves back into it. They could have scored a few goals, but so could Croatia. I definitely think there's at least 2 more goals in this game. I mean, I'm probably jinxed it out now. Probably going to be no more goals in my game. But yeah, I think there's at least 2 more goals in this game. But it's been a very tight affair. Portugal need to get the next goal. But on the whole, I think I'd probably give the edge to Croatia in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now. It's a very even game indeed, and hopefully we see more goals. I mean, as I said, for Portugal right now, it doesn't mean anything because France are winning, so they would, of course, finish second no matter what. Croatia, 5 shots, 2 on target. Same for Portugal, 5 shots, 2 on target. Portugal with a little bit more possession, 54% to Croatia's 46%. It's a big game indeed for Croatia right now. They're doing everything that they need to. The question is for Portugal, of course, what do you do in this situation? Because right now for them, it is a bit of a pointless game in the context of the situation in the group. Do you think that they just go for it and try and get the win and finish on as many points as they can? What's the outlook, do you think, for them?
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't want to go for it. I mean, it's a meaningless game for them. They can't go anywhere. They can't get relegated or promoted, but they might as well just go for it. You're in the game, go try and win the game no matter what the circumstances are. But Croatia will definitely be. I'll be interested. I'm more interested to see how Croatia approach second half because they know that they're currently safe. But if they concede, a lot of things could change. So they need to keep it tight at the back, and maybe Portugal can spoil the party for Croatia.
Potentially so. It's very hard to keep yourself motivated in a game where it doesn't mean much for you. But, well, for Croatia right now, it's very easy to motivate themselves because it could be a big win no matter what. And when you've got players like Ronaldo and João Felix on the pitch, if you can keep a clean sheet tonight, it's certainly a big performance indeed. And, of course, when we look at the standings of the groups currently, which I'm just going to get up on the screen now, should be up, there we go. Of course, Croatia in third on 6 points, Sweden on fourth on 3 points. It would be a very, very deserved staying up for Croatia, wouldn't it, in terms of the fact that they've beat one of the best sides in Europe and they could keep a clean sheet as well. So big opportunity for Croatia. Thank you very much, Will. As always, we'll bring you back in the second half as it currently stands. Croatia 1, Portugal 0. The pressure is on Portugal, but let's be real. As I said, it's very hard to motivate yourself in a situation where you're not really playing for anything. But let's go over now to the 2 smaller games tonight. We'll go over to Rowan first. He's covering that game between Malta and Faroe Islands. Remember, that one has got quite a little bit to play for in the group. But so far, Rowan, no goals. Has it been an enjoyable fixture?
Really enjoyable. I mean, end to end, it's boring. No, that's probably. I think just because there's no goals. What can I say? Both sides are going for it. They are trying to create stuff. Really nice little set piece from Malta where they had a free kick, could have easily crossed in, but instead one of the midfielders ran from the other side of the pitch, played it through, tries to cross in, and he falls when he crosses it. One thing they are showing is passion. Them centre-halves are not mincing their tackles. They're going fully force. They don't care if they're going to get a red or give away a penalty. They're stopping them from taking a shot. The keeper's very erratic. They like to come out a lot, not even to collect a ball, just when the team are attacking and like the right side of the box, the keeper's practically stood in front of them. Yeah, there's not much real to report. He's wearing an headband.
Is that as good as the game's got so far, the headbands?
Yeah, a couple of opportunities. I think it's like six for Faroe Islands. So, and some of them have been at the keeper, but just routine saves. Nothing where you go, wow, that could have been a goal or something. But both teams will just keep digging each other. I think there will be a goal, just I don't know when. Yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now for the game. Malta, they've had 3 shots, none on target. Faroe Islands, as you've perfectly put, 6 shots in the game, 2 on target, Malta with 47% possession, Faroe Islands with 53%. As it currently stands in the group right now, of course, because it's still goalless, nothing really changes in the group. Faroe Islands stays top on 12 points. Malta staying second on 9 points. But remember, this game, I believe, will go on head-to-head, which in their previous game that they played off against each other, it finished Faroe Islands 3, Malta 2, which therefore means if Faroe Islands, of course, win this game, it doesn't really matter anyway, but Malta, they've got to try and go out there and get something in this match.
Win it, I think they'll go on the same point as well. They're so head-to-head.
Pretty much. So, yeah, it could go down to potentially the amount of goals scored and things like that between the two sides against each other. So it's still a fairly feisty game, but as of right now, of course, unfortunately, no goals in the match. Hopefully, we might be coming back to you later on because we had a similar situation, didn't we, with Kieran now? You know, we went into his game. It was a very boring 45 minutes of action, came back at the end and had 3 goals. So maybe, could we have something similar, do you think?
Who knows, Josh? Who knows? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Malta 0, Faroe Islands 0. Let's hope he gets a better second half, bless him. He certainly sounds like he's enjoyed it so far. And then, of course, let's go to the other game. Well, he had certainly an interesting game, as I said, in that previous Nations League where it was 0-0 at half-time. Then he got plenty of goals, but this first half has had a fair few goals in it itself. 1-1 between Gibraltar and Liechtenstein currently right now. We spoke to Kieran earlier. Both goals, Kieran, weren't necessarily the greatest in the world. I guess it does show you the standards of the football, but put the standards aside. Has it been an enjoyable game so far?
Not really. There's been spells in the game. Like the 2 goals, I've got to admit the Liechtenstein one came out of nowhere. But, you know, both teams have sparingly had chances. It's been very much a lot of it played in the middle of the park, a lot of long ball, you know, very simple stuff because of the level of the players, and that's due to obviously no fault of their own. They're trying to win the game. But I think Liechtenstein will be the happier of the 2 teams. You know, Gibraltar were running away with this group when they were 1-0 up, and yes, due to a bit of luck, they are now at 1-1, but we'll see who takes the mantle in the second half because there's been moments, that's probably what I'd say.
I think that's the best way to put it so far. Looking at the stats, Gibraltar 3 shots, 1 on target. Liechtenstein have had 4 shots, 3 on target. Liechtenstein dominated possession 65% to Gibraltar's 35%. Now, when you actually look at the group right now as it currently stands, of course, Liechtenstein in second on 5 points. Gibraltar currently sat on top on 8 points. Just looked at head-to-head, of course. Gibraltar actually beat Liechtenstein in the previous game 1-0. So when you look at it in that way, if Liechtenstein can get a win tonight, it'll make things very interesting how the complexion of things are sorted out groups-wise. But, of course, still 1-1 in that game. Could be more opportunities for goals, which would be nice to see. But do you think either of the 2 teams looks likely to go on and win this match? Or do you think it's going to end as a stalemate with a draw?
I'd probably say Gibraltar look the slightly better side. There's a few players that have not caught the eye, but you can tell they've got a little bit more talent. For example, Liam Walker, who I know, like I knew of for his time from Notts County, but he's recently been scoring a lot of goals for Europa. He's got, I think, 38 in 44 or something like that. He's got an insane record. But the man that's really been not stealing the show, but looks the most impressive for Gibraltar was Debar, the striker. He's getting the ball. He's all over the pitch. He's picking it up in pockets of space, and every time he gets the ball, he drives forward. So it's nice to see that impetus from him. Hopefully he gets on the score sheet because for me, he's been the best player on the pitch.
It's been an interesting game so far. Hopefully there's more goals in this match. It's one of the smaller games tonight. Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1. Thank you very much, Kieren L, as always. As we get back into the second halves of these fixtures, Spain and Germany kicking off with the second half. I'm absolutely roasting. I feel like I've got my radiator on. I might have to check a second. 3-0 to Spain right now in this match. It was an awful first 45 minutes of action to a point where, as I said, I genuinely think that we might see Joachim Low potentially get sacked depending on how the rest of this 45 minutes of action goes. We have had a substitute in the game. Nicholas Sewell has been subbed off for Jonathan Tah, which I think is an interesting shout from Joachim Low. No other changes apart from that, which is fairly interesting because I thought maybe we might have seen one or two more changes in this game to tweak the system up slightly, but he's decided to bring on the one centre-back, sticking with the system that they've used so far in this game. And of course, Is this going to backfire? Because they're 3-0 down. As it currently stands, they'd have to score 4 goals to go and win the group, which would be the greatest Nations League game of all time, which, let's be real, it only has a 2-year history, but it'd probably be one of the best international games in recent history in terms of a comeback. As Spain look to come forward here, though, they're not messing about because Dani Olmo has a chance to put Spain 4-0 up. He's taken the shot. It's a great save for Onoya. Koke's there, though. Takes on the shot. Good deflection there from Robin Koch. And that was a big chance for Spain to instantly score 2 minutes into the second half and make it 4-0. And well, that's answered my question. They're not fucking about tonight, are they, Spain? They are looking to really embarrass this Germany side. And well, that first half was embarrassing. It was really, really poor indeed. But they're looking to make it even worse on the scoreline. And why not? Because Germany have looked so awful so far. But that's the one change we've had. Jonathan Tah coming on in this game. We've also had a few changes between France and Sweden. France making the changes in this game. Kurt Zouma and Lucas Digne have come on. Varane and Lucas Hernandez coming off the pitch. So a few changes in those games early on into the second half. As you would expect, some players getting rested now with club football coming back in a few days' time. But there's a lot of work to be done for for Germany in this second half. 3-0 down. Joachim Low has a lot of work to do, and you can see on his face right now, he looks incredibly agitated. And well, I don't think you'll have a job for much longer, to be honest, buddy. I think you might be running out of time as the Germany manager. Whether they look at it tonight and say, look, do we change up the manager before we go into international tournament? I don't know. I mean, when you look at Germany's kind of results in the long run over the last few months, they've been fairly poor. Draw against Turkey, poor results in other games and things like that. As I said, I think, Joachim Low could be questioned in terms of the actual complexion of this group. But will they then look at it in the same way and say, well, actually, we'll keep him for the Euros, and if he does crap, then we'll sack him? We'll have to find out indeed. But yeah, right now it's a bit of a worrying sign for Germany because it does feel like they've started exactly in the same way in this match. And well, looking right now, Carl's put, to Germany not need a draw? I thought they were top coming into this game, or was I mistaken? You might be right, actually. Yeah, you are right. They would need a draw. So that at least then they only have to score 3 goals now in a game like this. But as you perfectly put early, Kyle, I don't think they can even score 1 because Spain are coming forward. It's a 3-on-2 situation. Morata's going down the middle. Can you see on the left-hand side? That is awful from Morata. You're useless. Shame on you, because he could have played that out onto the left-hand side. There's so much space to play the ball into Dani Olmo, who's screaming for the ball, but he's greedy. Bombs down through the middle thinking he can get a goal in this game. All he had to do was lay the ball off to Dani Olmo, who would have at least had a chance on target. And yeah, they are looking so susceptible at the back right now, Germany. I think it's going to end up with more goals. But we have had a goal in one of those other games tonight. Will is currently watching the game between Croatia and Portugal. Remember, they need to win this game tonight, Croatia, if they want to stay up, or else they are relegated in the Nations League. But is it a second Croatia goal or a Portugal back in the game, Will?
It's an equaliser for Portugal, and it's come from a Cristiano Ronaldo free kick. We know how Cristiano Ronaldo's free kicks work. He hits them with a lot of swerve and a lot of, a lot of swaz. I don't know why I said that, but it was well saved by the goalkeeper. But it comes out to Semedo, who he could have had a shot to refer to him, but he keeps his head and he puts it back across the middle, and it's tapped in by the new Man City signing Ruben Diaz, and a really, really composed finish. Portugal are level now, and they've just got another free kick. Oh no, they haven't actually. I thought they had another free kick in Ronaldo territory, but he's just been booked for diving. But it's 1-1, 53 minutes, and Croatia needs to find a way to retake the lead, otherwise they're going down.
Well, you said at half-time you were hoping that there'd be a few more goals in this game. You've certainly got the goals indeed now. There's at least one of those goals you wanted. But thank you very much, Will. As always, Croatia 1, Portugal 1. It means with that group, as it currently stands right now, because Sweden are still losing their game and Croatia would be gaining a point, it means they would still stay third. Sweden would be relegated. If they lose, however, this match against Portugal, Croatia will finish bottom of the group and they will be relegated at the end of the 90 minutes of action. But right now, a point would still be enough to keep Croatia up unless Sweden score 2 goals against France. So it's going to be very, very nervous indeed. And well, there's also been a red card in that game between Croatia and Portugal. Marco Rog has been sent off early on into the second half. So Croatia are actually down to 10 men as well, which is certainly nerve-wracking for them indeed. Not what they'd like, especially in a game where they've got to go and win. But Marco Rog getting sent off, Croatia down to 10 men in that match. And it's 1-1 between Croatia and Portugal. You'd expect Portugal now to try and go out there and get a few more goals in this match. But Germany coming forward here. Ball spread into the box from, I think it was Ginter there on the right back position. Tries to get it towards Werner. Doesn't get to in the end, but Gnabry keeps going on the right wing. Still going here. Lovely run from Gnabry. Tries to lay the ball off to Klosterman, who's in the edge of the box. In the middle of the box. Just doesn't get to him in the end. And that was the first kind of little opportunity for Germany in this game to at least have a shot on target. But Spain looking fairly organised at the back. And as Carl did say, 3 goals is all that Germany need. If Germany do equalise in this game and make it 3-3, then they will go and finish top of the group. So certainly would be a very good comeback either way, even if they did get 3 goals in this match. But they need to get a shot on target first because they've not really done anything in this game so far at all. 3 goals for Spain. If they can get a 4th in this match, it surely is done and dusted. But right now, even 3 goals looks like it's going to be fairly done and dusted. But you would expect Germany to have a lot more possession in this second half as they try and push forward. And well, we've already seen in the game, in that first 5 minutes, the potential chance from Morata where Spain were 3-on-2 against Germany's defence. They are going to be left wide open. This is just a very good game overall because both teams, not necessarily Spain now, but Germany have got to do something in this match and try and get a few goals back. Spain can quite easily hit on the break and get a few more goals, which makes it for a very exciting 40 minutes of action as Germany just pass around the defensive half of play right now. But you can see on your screen, after 50 minutes on the clock, as it currently stands, Spain 3-0 up against Germany, a very embarrassing first half of football for the away side. France 2-1 up against Sweden. Just a moment ago, Croatia going 1-1 against Portugal. It was Portugal who scored the equalising goal in that game, but Croatia down to 10 men as well. But we are going to go over to KD because there has been a chance in his game against France and Sweden. Sweden have to win this game if they want to stay up. But the question is, was it a chance for Sweden or was it a chance for France, Kieran?
Well, it's a chance for France to kill this game off once and for all. And it's your man again, Olivier Giroud, with a free header inside the box again. And it heads it just wide. It comes off his shoulder. If he's getting his head on that, that's ended up in the back of the net. But another good chance from another good opportunity for France to kill this game. Well, they might rue these chances, Josh.
And it could be 4. It's going to be 4. It's 4. Spain have got 4. What is going on? Unbelievable. Thank you very much, KD. As always, France looking like they're going to get a few more goals in that match. As you can see, of course, Giroud missed a few opportunities. It's 4-0 Spain. And I said there's going to be space open in this match. Spain are not here to mess about. This is embarrassing from Germany. Look, at the end of the day, right, this isn't as competitive as, let's say, the big matches like Brazil and Germany, for example, a few years ago. But Germany are 4-0 down. And honestly, the space that has been left open for Spain to push into, this is awful defending. There are 2 centre-backs that have left so much space open at the back for Spain to play into. Gaia is the one that runs forward. He lays the ball off into the path of, I think it's Ferran Torres who gets his second goal on the night. But this is absolutely embarrassing defending from Germany. There's so much space right now for Spain to work into that this really is an embarrassing night of action. It's 4-0 Spain. Ferran Torres with his second goal on the night. And wow, absolutely unbelievable. But there's been another goal elsewhere tonight. Rowan's waving his hands in desperation because he's had a goal in his game. Malta Faroe Islands. Unbelievable action in this match, but certainly unbelievable action between Malta and Faroe Islands. The question is, who scored, Rowan?
I finally got a goal.
Who scored it?
It's Malta, and it's 1-0, and it's a deep free kick from nearly the halfway lines, put into the box, and the captain, Aguis, gets onto the end of it, tries to knock it across the face of the goal. It's cleared by the Faroe Islands defence, but not as far, just to outside the box, where Grullemeyer is just absolutely thwacked it into the bottom left or past the entire defence. And Malta 1-0 up. It's a lovely ball over the top. Aguis just tries to poke in. It's fumbled around by Faroe Island. And Grullemeyer with a lovely little shot to the round bottom left-hand corner. And the 1-0 up.
Well, there we go, Rowan. You've got your early goal. That's what you love to see.
It come.
Fantastic indeed. Thank you very much as always, Rowan. He's got the goal that he wanted. 1-0 to Malta in that match. which is certainly big indeed because it currently stands in that group. Let's quickly go over there and find out what's happening. It means that Malta now go top of the group based on head-to-head against Faroe Islands, which means that the Faroe Islands are going to have to push out in that game and try and get a goal, of course, to come back. But Spain are coming forward here. Oh, it's just over the left-hand side of the post. It could have been 5. It could have been 5. What's going on? This is honestly embarrassing right now for Germany. And as I said, look, at the end of the day, this isn't nowhere near as competitive as the World Cup game between, Brazil and Germany. That was the most embarrassing result, I think, in international history. But this is, I'm not saying this is up there because it isn't. This is not as competitive, but this is still just poor from Germany. It will be up there if they score a few more goals because this isn't a friendly. This is still a competitive game of action that's going on right now between these two sides. And as I said, I genuinely think right now Joachim Löw will be sacked. I genuinely do think Joachim Löw will not have a chance of staying on as the manager if this gets a little bit more feisty. But we are going to go over to Will because there has been another goal in his game between Croatia and Portugal. Remember, Croatia did have a man sent off. It was Marco Rog, who was down to 10 men in that match. Have Croatia got a goal back in this game, or Portugal now taking the lead, Will?
Portugal taking the lead. However, I don't think it's going to stand. The ball played over the top towards Diogo Jota, but it looks like he's controlled it with his hand. I don't think it was intentional, but he controlled it with his hand. He put it into the middle and João Felix taps it into an open net. But the goal has actually been given. Wow. See, I thought that would have been a handball because it was an unnatural position. It's accidentally hit his hand, but you know how the rules are nowadays. But the goal's been given and Portugal lead 2-1 with half an hour to play.
Thank you very much, Will. That is a massive goal in the complexion of how the group currently stands because, as you can see right now, if you're a Swedish fan, then there is a small glimmer of hope that you could get back into that game against France. They would have to win in that game, Sweden, if they want to survive. Croatia right now just holding on 3 points. No, a lot of pressure right now on Sweden. They need 2 goals in that game against France. Nervy times indeed. 2-1 Portugal in that game. It has been given as a goal. Nervy times if you are a Croatian fan. There's been another goal elsewhere as well in one of the games that we're not keeping our eyes on tonight. Well, it's certainly been a good performance for Spain, but it's been a great performance for Montenegro as well. They're now 4-0 up against Cyprus. Stefan Magusa with the goal in the 60th minute to put them 4-0 up against Cyprus. They are cruising to finishing top in their Nations League group. Remember, if you finish top in the Nations League group, in the leagues B, C, and D, then you do get promoted into League C. So if you get obviously finish League D, get promoted into League C to B, vice versa, and so on. So 4-0 there to Montenegro. Certainly a big performance indeed. There's been a change in that France game as well. Mbappe has come on. Thuram has come off as well. France looks to dominate that match, but Spain are coming forward here. It could be a chance for 5. Fabian Ruiz at the edge of the box takes the shot on, and eventually it's cleared away. I cannot believe what I am watching right now. This is awful. And they're coming forward again here, Spain. Koke at the edge of the box. Lays the ball off into Ferran Torres, who's on for his hat trick now, remember. Ball's going to be spread to Sergio Roberto on the right wing. Some lovely build-up play right now from this Spain side. It was just embarrassing Germany across the entirety of the pitch in both attacking and defensive playing. Oh, God, it's mental. It's crazy. It's embarrassing more than anything as Germany look to make 2 changes. Florian Neuhaus is going to come onto the pitch as well as Waldschmidt. And coming off the pitch with half an hour left of play is going to be, well, we'll find out in a second here, see who comes off. So it's going to be Leroy Sané, who comes off for Waldschmidt. So that's the first change of the match. Haven't really seen much of Leroy Sané tonight, of course. Had a very serious injury at Manchester City. So probably trying to keep him a little bit safe. And, well, haven't seen much of him at all. And then Leon Goretzka comes off the pitch. Florian Neuhaus coming on. Maybe a little bit more attacking Neuhaus. I guess it depends on how you feel about things. Goretzka's got a little bit more pace, and I guess he can push up and down the pitch a little bit more. But it might not mean anything here because there's a ball lobbed into the box towards Dani Olmo. Doesn't get to him in the end. And now there could be a chance here for Germany to counter-attack. And as Carl's perfectly said, they now need to score 4 if they want to get through to the next stage of the competition. But we are going to go over to KD because there has been a goal in this game between France and Sweden. Has Sweden got a pivotal equaliser, or have France made it 3-0, 3-1 even?
Now, Josh, promise not to get too excited when I tell you this, but it's 3-1 and Giroud has got 2. we might be on for another informed Giroud. But no, it's a really, really good goal from France. Strutting their stuff now as they do. Pogba plays a good pass out across the box to Mbappe, who just flicks a ball into the box, and Giroud with a diving header to make it 3-1. This game is all but said and done, and France can stat pad a little bit. Sweden needing a miracle, of course, to stay up in their division.
They certainly need a miracle indeed. Thank you very much, KD. I'm keeping calm. There could be a second informed Giroud. Thank you very much as always. France 3, Sweden 1. Giroud's getting a second inform. We love to see it. I'm a big Giroud fan, and that's what we want to see. But we're going to go over to Will because he's putting caps. Goal. Is this a big goal indeed? Croatia currently 2-1 down to Portugal and also down to 10 men. Is it a Croatia equaliser or is it a Portugal third goal? Will, take it away.
It is a Croatia equaliser, and it's Mateo Kovacic's second goal of the night. It's a really, really well taken goal. The ball's put into the middle by the right back. It's played really well tonight for Croatia. I think it's in towards Pasalic, who's just come on. He controls the ball, holds it up, lays it off for Kovacic on the edge of the box, and he just whips it into the bottom corner. Fantastic finish. And they're only losing 2-1 for 5 minutes. There's still 25 minutes to go in this game. And who knows who's going to win this now, but it's 2-2, and it's been a fantastic game.
Certainly has been indeed. Well, what's that now? Is that 3 goals you've had in the second half?
Three second half goals, yeah.
You got what you wanted. Absolutely perfect indeed. Yeah. Thank you very much, Will. Still more time left in the game. 2-2 between Croatia and Portugal. That's a massive goal indeed. It should surely now seal, no matter what happens tonight, that Croatia stay up. With Sweden losing right now, they had to beat France if they wanted to stay up. It looks like Sweden are going to get relegated tonight. Croatia, well, they won't know, of course, what's happening with Sweden. They'll probably have an inkling about it. But the 2-2 with Portugal, but they are down to 10 men. Sounds like a great game indeed. But we're going to go over to KL now because there has been a chance in one of the smaller games tonight. Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. It's currently 1-1 in that game. Who's had that chance? Kieran now.
It was Gibraltar, and they dispossessed a man at midfield, and then it was passed across by the fullback to that man, Debar, who drove towards the goal. He's just fouled outside the box, and it was on the 18-yard line, and it was Liam Walker. Bends it over the wall, but he just hit the crossbar. I was giving it limbs, Josh. I thought it was in, but it just hit the crossbar, and that was Gibraltar's first big chance of this second half, as it's been a very even one. Hello, Will. I don't know why I'm still here.
I think Josh is he says his device is not connected with Josh.
It's just me and you. Well, you all right, mate?
You're all right, mate.
Yeah. How's your game been so far? Oh, everyone's popping.
Oh, there's 2 Kawhis now.
There's 2 Kawhis in the chat. Kieran Lawler and 2 Kawhi Leonards walked into a bar, and this is what we ended up with. Unbelievable scenes. Hello.
We got. He just disconnected me randomly. What he loves to see. But maybe he got too excited over that chance as well.
Yeah, Liam Walker hits the bar, and everything goes to absolute crap. But it's
honestly,
all right.
KD said perfectly, seen double right now. Cheers, lads. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect me again. But yeah, no, thank you very much, Will, for dropping. Thank you very much, Kale, as well. Yeah, my camera got too excited over that chance, but as it currently stands, 1-1, of course. About 25 minutes of action left, and hopefully my camera doesn't die at some point. Thank you very much, Kale, as always. Yeah, I got disconnected then. I got too excited over the Gibraltar chance. I think it maybe got too excited over another chance that Spain had a moment ago. Long-range effort from Alvaro Morata. That very nearly ended up in the back of the net, making it 5. Unbelievable, honestly, unbelievable. We are 25 minutes left of this match and 25 minutes left across the board. And this has been a really good night of action across the board in the Nations League. Unless you Malta and Faroe Islands. Maybe it has been a good game, but Rowan, put your thumbs up or thumbs down whether it's been a good game or not. Give me an inkling of whether you've enjoyed it. Well, he hasn't put any thumbs up or thumbs down, so I'm going to assume it's an average game. Spain 4, Germany 0, but there could be forward here. It could be a chance for 5. Ball's deflected into the hands of Neuer, and he's going to be able to try and hit Germany on a counter-attack here. But it's been a great night of action. 4 goals in the games with Spain, 4 goals in the game between France and Sweden. Obviously, France 3-1 up right now. Croatia 2, Portugal 2. What a game that one's been with Croatia down to 10 men. And then Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1. Lots of action indeed. Lots of good games. So 25 minutes left on the clock. Can Spain get a few more goals in this game, or will Germany maybe get 1 or 2 more back and make this performance a little less embarrassing? Although you can't really sugarcoat how poor this has been for not for 25 minutes, for 65 minutes. It's been awful indeed. In fact, they still haven't had a shot on target. They've had 1 shot in the entire game. If I was a Germany fan right now, Joachim Low out. Get him out. We were talking about Gareth Southgate being maybe going out. Joachim Low out the door. Get him sacked. Awful performances. Spain have had a total of 20 shots in this match, 8 on target. Unbelievable indeed. And Will's put, get him out. Get him out. Joachim Low out the door. Sack him while you're still playing the game. Get him gone. Get him gone indeed. Bring someone else in because shambolic performance tonight for Spain. And there's a shambolic performance for them. Great performance for Spain. Shambolic performance for Germany even. Literally, nothing has been provided in attack. Nothing's been provided in defence. Neuer's made a few decent saves to save this from being, 5, 6 or 7. And Jonathan Tah's just got himself a yellow card. He goes into the book as well. So there's been a few other goals elsewhere. Latvia are now 3-0 up in their game against Andorra. 2 quick-fire goals in that game from Janis Ikonics means he's got 2 goals in 3 minutes. Malta 3-0 up against Andorra. There's certainly been plenty of goals tonight in some of those smaller games indeed. But plenty of action. Latvia firing in their game. Can we see a few more goals tonight? We've got 25 minutes left as it currently stands across the board. Spain 4, Germany 0. France 3, Sweden 1, Croatia 2, Portugal 2. Croatia down to 10 men. Marco Rog sent off in that match. We've had, of course, Malta 1, Faroe Islands 0, Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1, but it could be a chance here to make it 5. Ball laid into the box for 4. They've missed a great chance. How have they missed that? It was a great ball from Fabian Ruiz on the left wing. He's just a FIFA sweat into Morata, and his ball's just hit with a little bit too much power, and Morata just can't get a touch on the ball. It should be 5. It really should be 5. And once again, this defending's awful. Jonathan Tah, what are you doing? He's ball watching. Lazy. Honestly, lazy. Lazy defending from Germany right now. They couldn't give a shit. And could have been a chance to make it 5-0 there. If I was a German fan, I'd be fucking raging right now with this performance. There's been a few changes across the board in some of the other games tonight. KD currently making some changes. Sweden, Kraft and Helander have come off. No, Kraft, Helander and Kieran have all come on. Lindelof, Victor Claesson and Lustig have come off. There's been a few changes as well in Will's game between Croatia and Portugal. 2 changes for Portugal. Bernardo Silva and João Cancelo have come on. João Felix and Mario Rui coming off. But we've got a corner here now for Spain. Can they get their 3rd corner of the evening to go into the back of the net? And I feel like I'm more passionate about this game than I was about England's performances across the entire Nations League. I would be absolutely raging if I was a Germany fan. They're going to take the corner short this time. And in fact, they're going to play all the way back to the halfway line. I guess they can do that now. It's just a case of not necessarily trying to get anyone injured. But we are going to go over to Rowan because there has been a goal. It is game between Malta and Faroe Islands. Remember, as it currently stands, Malta leading in their group because of the head-to-head. They are 1-0 up, which means they will go and get promoted if they've got this goal. Is it 2-0, Rowan, or a Malta 1-1 and Faroe Islands back in the game?
It's 1-1 and Malta have just been caught out napping, really. It's Van Hammer who gets the ball played through him. He blitzes past his man, I think, who was it? He blitzes past, I think it could be Shaw, squares the ball across the face of the goal, and who's there? It's the substitute, Jonsson, who came on in around 7 minutes ago. So practically one of his only couple of touches in this game, and it's 1-0 now.
Certainly going to be interesting end indeed because as it currently stands in that group right now, let me get it on the screen, Rowan, just so you know what's going on. It means that the Faroe Islands are now back on top, which means Malta's got to come back out pushing, all guns blazing. Should be a good 20 minutes left of action. Should be good indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Malta 1, Faroe Islands 1. Hopefully, a few more goals in the game would be very nice indeed. But yeah, the goal there, of course, very good for the Faroe Islands. It puts them back to the top of the group. Spain are going to make a few changes. They are taking the piss now. They're bringing on 3 attackers. They are going for it. They want to go gung-ho and really make this embarrassing. Gerard Moreno and Oyarzabal are 2 of the players that are looking to come on in a moment's time. There was another player stood on the touchline that I didn't necessarily get to see who it was, but we'll see in a second. They're going for it. They want more goals in this game, and can you blame them? Because Germany looks so poor, and they're coming through now, and it could be 5. Balls laid off towards the path of Ferran Torres. It's 5. He's got the hat trick. Ferran Torres has done it. And, well, you can see the idea that Luis Enrique has got here tonight. Just go gung-ho. Just attack, attack, attack. They've been shit tonight, Germany. Fucking shame on all of you. You're all terrible. Jonathan Tah, useless, honestly. It's 5-0 to Spain. Ferran Torres, the man who has certainly been in form for Manchester City and for Spain, has a hat-trick. There's 20 minutes left. Joachim Low out. Get him sacked now. 5-0 Spain. And KD's put his way back. He's crying. He certainly would be indeed. And I have to say, shit defending again. Ilkay Gundogan is the man who has to come back and defend because Jonathan Tah, who's, of course, come on in the second half, is useless. Absolutely useless indeed. And this is embarrassing. This is seriously embarrassing indeed. And Luis Enrique is celebrating every goal as if it's a World Cup winning goal. He's loving it right now. He's spanking up Germany. And, well, I don't remember the last time we've seen a result like this in an international stage. You'd probably have to say that a result like this hasn't come since that game between Germany and Brazil in 2012. But they are making 3 changes now. And just to take the mick, Asensio, Gerard Moreno, and Oyarzabal are coming on. There's going to be, I think Morata's coming off. It looks like Ferran Torres is coming off as well, who just got his hat-trick before being substituted. He is indeed. What a performance from Ferran Torres tonight. Fair play to him. He's been absolutely exceptional on the pitch tonight. And there's also been Danny Olmo coming off. But what a performance tonight. I'm gobsmacked. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I didn't think Germany would have just fell apart like this. It's mad. What are we watching? As I said, it's... There you go, at least you can hear me for now. The thing is with this game, it's unbelievable because I just have absolutely no idea as to how this side could fall apart like this. I will get my camera back in a second. It's just decided to... Frustrating. I will get it back in a second. My camera's just died on me. It will come back. But, I mean, right now, absolutely mental performance from Spain. I don't think you would have ever expected Spain to go out there and do something right now. Well, Rowan says, "Oh man, I should be all right. I don't know why it's doing it. Give me 2 seconds. I will sort the camera out. There we go. It's on. There we go. Now it's turned off. We love to see it. Unbelievable. The wonders, honestly, of technology is fantastic. There we go. We're back once again. We love technology these days. But yeah, back to the point. What I was saying. They're here to go, wild right now. Spain. I think this could end 6 or 7-0. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We've got 15 minutes left of action. As it currently stands, Spain 5-0 up against Germany. Unbelievable performance. We have had a change in the Croatia-Portugal game. Paulinho, the striker from Braga, he's come onto the pitch for Diogo Jota. Of course, we've got a goal tonight in that game against Croatia. It was a bit of a interesting one. Probably shouldn't have been given in the complexity of the match. It could have been a handball, but given in the end either way. Still 2-2 in that match. Croatia down to 10 men because Marco Rog was sent off. But there's still time, of course, for Portugal to try and nick a winner, as, of course, is for Croatia to try and nick a winner. But, the 3 changes now coming into effect here for Spain. 5-0. And Kaz put, Josh, your camera's bored of watching Germany. It just wants to sleep. It bloody does, because Spain are coming forward again. Can they make it 6-0? I kind of want them to. It's very similar now to the Barcelona-Bayern Munich performance, where I feel like if it just becomes 6 or 7, I'll sit there and viciously laugh at how awful this team has been. And we are still sat right now, for those of you that haven't watched the game, if you want to roughly know what's happened, we are still sat here with 75 minutes left of this match, and there's only been 1 shot in the game for Germany when it hasn't been on target. It's quite embarrassing. I would be very surprised here if Joachim Low is still in a job come next week. In fact, I'd be very surprised if he's still in a job come the next 24 hours. I genuinely think you sack him off the back of this performance. I don't care that this is the Nations League and it's not the biggest competition. You've lost 5-0 to Spain, who looked pretty dire. Well, I wouldn't say pretty dire, but they didn't look confident against Switzerland in their last performance. But tonight, this defensive back line for Germany, I'd never play Jonathan Tah again. I don't know what even went through his head to bring him on for the second half. I've got no idea. And we've got another change at the back now. Timo Werner. This is how desperate Germany have got. Timo Werner's come off. Benjamin Hendricks has come on. They're not bothered now about scoring. They're more bothered about the fact that they don't want to concede anymore. So Hendricks comes on in this game as he currently stands 5-0 to Spain. And it could be 6 here because they're coming forward once again. But while they come forward, let's go over to Will, because there has been a chance of the game between Croatia and Portugal. Of course, that is currently standing at 2-0. Let's hope my camera doesn't die this time. Sorry, 2-2 it's standing at. Who's had that chance, Will?
It was a chance for Portugal, and I don't even know how they've not scored here. They get the ball on the left side. They put it into the middle. It's actually a really nice strike. Well, he hits it into the ground. Paulinho just come on. But the ball then falls to Bernardo Silva. And he's about 3 or 4 yards out, and he just hits it into the ground. And I thought he'd put it over, but it was actually a phenomenal save by Livakovic, who's been absolutely fantastic tonight. And he keeps it 2-2. But Bernardo Silva, I think, really should be scoring from there. But 10 minutes to go, and we're still tied here.
It's a grandstand finish. It's looking like, thank you very much, Will, as always, 2-2 between Croatia and Portugal. Croatia down to 10 men because Rob was sent off a couple of minutes into the second half. But we very nearly had a goal for Germany. It was a long-range effort from Serge Gnabry, hit the bar. Unai Simon probably would have stopped it anyway if it was a little bit lower, but it hit the bar. Very good chance there for Serge Gnabry to get a consolation goal back at best. But he still stays 5-0 to Spain. As they drive forward here, it could be another chance. Gerard Moreno's in the box. Ball's laid off to Asensio on the right wing. He's going to cut it to the middle of the pitch. Lays it off into the path of Rodri, who's still on the pitch right now. Now into Gaia on the left wing. Sees the run of Gerard Moreno. Ball's lofted in. And it's cleared in the end by Jonathan Tah. It's an awful clearance. Awful clearance from Tah. It comes back to Gaia. And Spain look to break again. But, oh man, it's relentless right now. They're going to flip the ball to the right back, Sergio Roberto, who himself has, I think every Spain player on the pitch tonight can really be proud of themselves. They've had a fantastic match indeed. And, well, that chance is still going on. As Will has just put in the chat there, there is an injury in the game between Croatia and Portugal. And it's a former Liverpool player, Dejan Lovren. Is it a serious injury, Will?
He's gone down. He's receiving treatment. I think he's just gone up for a header, and he's landed pretty hard. I think he hit the back of his head, but he's receiving treatment. He's now stood up. He seems all right. In fact, the incident's here, I think. Oh, no, that was Ligo Kovacic. But, yeah, I think he's all right. I think he's fine to continue his Lovren. I think he just may have hit his head, but he's up and he's fine.
Which is good indeed. We don't want to see the world's greatest defender get injured in a game like this. Thank you very much, Will, as always. Still 2-2 between Croatia and Portugal. 10 minutes left of that match. Looks very feisty indeed. Let's go over to Kieran, because there's been an offside goal in the game between Gibraltar and Liechtenstein. Been fairly quiet in this second half so far. But the question is, who had it in the back of the net?
Well, Gibraltar, they thought they'd won the game, as there was a long ball over the top by Liam Walker, and it's controlled on the knee. I think it was Rowan at the time. But his control was so bad that it turned into a through ball. But sadly, the man on the end of the through ball was Debar, and he was offside before when it was controlled. And then so that was called and flagged for offside as he slotted it back to Rowan, who put it away. But because in the build-up he was offside, that's why the flag was lifted.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Kieran, as always. About 10 minutes left to go of that match. Gibraltar 1, Liechtenstein 1, as it currently stands in that game. There's been a substitution in the game in France. Rabiot has come off the pitch. Steven Nzonzi has come on as Germany look to come forward here and try and get a consolation goal in this game. We already had that chance which hit the bar just a moment ago from Serge Gnabry. He's just on the ball right now, about 30 yards out from goal. Ball's going to be switched to Gundogan, who's laid it off to Philippe Max, who's going to flick a ball into the box. Could be a good chance here. Ball's cleared away in the end by Pau Torres. Really good clearance. This Spain team looking very good at the back tonight. A really reassured performance. And just the fact that Germany have been looked pretty awful in terms of attacking play. Really worrying performance from Germany tonight. And I mean, somebody's kind of put it perfectly. Only Jonathan Tah can come into a game 3-0 down and still make the team look worse than it did in the first half. I have to agree with that completely. Very poor indeed in terms of how that... Well, why he even came on in the first place? It's honestly awful indeed. But they're coming forward once again here, just inside the box. It's Volschmieder. Lays the ball into the path of Hendricks, who's just come a little bit further up the pitch, but it's not going to come to anything. In the end, we're going to have another change in that Croatia-Portugal game. This time, Croatia making a change later on. Nikola Vlasic is going to come off the pitch. And coming on with a few minutes left of that match is Mislav Orsic. So they're trying to push for a winner in that game, of course, just to reassure that they can get that point or at least 3 points in the match. Remember, Sweden tonight, they had to beat France if they wanted to stay up in their group. They were winning 1-0 early on in the game, but France dominating that match towards the end. Giroud's still on the pitch. He scored 2 goals tonight. I'm really praying that he scores a hat-trick just for a second in form. Of course, Croatia currently drawing 2-2 against Portugal, but it doesn't matter either way what happens now, because Sweden would have to score 3 goals against France to survive and stay up. It means that they'll get relegated. Croatia will stay up in League A, but we're back to Spain, Germany, because Spain are coming forward again. Can they make an opportunity and make it 6? It's Yazbel on the left wing, just going to play it around in the midfield right now. Fabian Ruiz into Rodri. Now going to lay the ball off into Eric Garcia, who's going to make a driving run forward. And he tries to lay the ball off to Marcos Asensio on the right wing, but his pass is just a little bit too weak for the Real Madrid winger to get towards. And, well, with 8 minutes left now, this game has died down slightly, I think. We're now at a point where the relentless Spain attacks have started to die out. And maybe we might see 1 or 2 more goals before the end. I kind of think we might see 1 at the very least. But Germany, they've had a few little chances to come forward here late on, but of course it's just going to be a consolation goal now, unless something incredible happens in the next 10 minutes where Germany somehow score 5 goals in a game where they've only had, no shots on target with 1 shot on target it'll now be with 80 minutes of action. Then, it is still no shots on target. 2 shots, but none on target. Mad. Absolutely mad from a side that we always kind of look at and think, well, how dominant are they on the international stage? But they're certainly not dominant tonight. It's Spain who are the dominant team. And if this Spain side can play like this a lot more, then I completely agree with what Kyle said before about how they could be a very dangerous side, not just in the Nations League, but when the Euros come around next year. They look relentless right now in terms of just taking on this Germany side and battering them. And I don't know whether there's going to be a change here, whether Jonathan Tah's coming off. And, well, I wouldn't blame him indeed, but they're just showing us pictures of the bench right now. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in that dressing room in about 7 minutes' time, because I think things are going to get very, very aggressive with Joachim Löw. He'll be very disappointed with this performance tonight, but that's probably because he's a pretty poor manager and his tactics have been all over the place tonight. We talked about Joachim Löw. I think it was the last stream we actually talked about him. He's not the manager he was a few years ago. You know, when we looked at when Germany won the World Cup and they were an incredible side, that was the point, I think, when he should have left Germany, moved on and maybe gone into the Premier League or another international club. But now he's not the manager he once was. And, well, it's been a really poor stint for him right now, as I've just seen what Kieran's put in the chat. If you play Football Manager, you'd either throw the water bottle or you'd kick the chair if you were Joachim Löw right now. But to be honest, I'd either kick the chair at Jonathan Tah, or it'd be one of the German players kicking the chair at Joachim Löw and booting him out the door. So, 6 minutes left here. 5-0 as it currently stands. I can't believe it. Unbelievable performance. I'd like to see, actually, tomorrow, of course, what kicker and German newspapers and that will put back this performance, because it's lackluster. They are genuinely... This is walking pace we're seeing right now from this German side. Nobody's looking like they want to go and get the ball. Just players looking awful in terms of positioning. And Spain just able to easily walk around the pitch. But just see right now, we've had a change in the France game. I can't believe there's been a change. Unbelievable. What a fraudulent change this has been. Giroud, who scored 2 goals tonight, he comes off the pitch. Kingsley Coman comes onto the pitch with a few minutes left. Great performance from Giroud tonight, really helping his nation out. You know, they've got the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Griezmann, but they're no match to Olivier Giroud, who's got 2 goals that could win Sweden that game late on. But we've got a corner here for Spain. They've used their corners incredibly well tonight. 2 of those went into the back of the net. Can they make that 3 into the back of the net? The centre-backs are coming up here. Could be 6-0 with 4 minutes left to go. The ball's going to be whipped in just a moment's time. Although Koke is going to play it short here. Lays it to Asensio. Now to Sergio Roberto. And, well, you can see what's kind of the outlook here for Spain. Just passing it round the pitch now. No worries indeed. But we are going to go to Rowan because there's been a chance in this game. Malta, Faroe Islands, as it currently stands, Faroe Islands topping the group if it stays 1-1. But if Malta win this game, they will nick the top of the table at the very end. The question is, who's had that chance with a few minutes left to go, Rowan?
It was Malta, and it was a great save from Gaston. The goal scorer for Malta, the first goal scorer, Gulameyer, ball's tripped over to him, does a lovely, controls it really nice outside the box, lets it rip again, just a unleashes one. And the Faroe Islands goalkeeper, Gestenson, has to get up high and quick, and he parries it over the crossbar. But Malta are coming at them very quick.
Very nervous indeed.
I've just seen Kieran's comment. It is unreal. It is great, but...
He's put no one saves like Gaston. Unbelievable. Well, it's still 1-1 as it stands right now. Malta, remember, they've got to get the winning goal in this game if they want to get through. Faroe Islands, as it currently stands, going through while it's 1-1. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. See if we can get a late goal in that game. 1-1 as it currently stands. We're going to go over to KD, though. There's been a change in this game. France and Sweden substitute we're going to talk about here. Alexander Isak comes on. Marcus Berg coming off with a few minutes left of that game. Sweden 3-1 down. They'd have to score 3 goals in quick succession if they want to survive as it stands right now. And as it will probably stand in about 5 minutes' time, they will be relegated from the Nations League down into League B when the tournament takes place. I think 2023 is when we'll see the next Nations League. So a long time to go. But for those teams that finish at the top tonight, which will be Spain, they will go into the knockout stages of the Nations League, which take place in October 2021. But we're going to go over to Will because he's putting big capital letters goal. Croatia 2, Portugal 2. Croatia are down to 10 men. Who has scored what surely is going to be the winning goal, Will?
Oh, it's Portugal, and they just took the lead in 90th minute. And I thought a draw was a fair result tonight because Croatia have actually played very well. Portugal have also played very well, but I thought a draw was a fair result. But I was just praising the Croatia goalkeeper, how he's played tonight, Livakovic. Well, he's actually caused the goalie. The cross is whipped in. He goes to catch it. It's a simple catch. He just completely drops it, and it falls at the feet of Ruben Diaz again. And the centre-back gets his second goal of the night. It's so unfortunate for Croatia, but Portugal look like they've won the game now with only about 4 minutes to go of added time. But yeah, Ruben Diaz, second goal of the game. Fox in the box, and he's give his country the lead here.
He's a fox in the box indeed. Thank you very much, Will. It's 6-0 Spain. It's 6. They have hit Germany for 6. I cannot believe what I am watching here. I think Jose Gaya has got an assist to his name. I'm pretty sure it was Oyarzabal who put the ball into the back of there. It's 6. What the fuck is going on? This is an embarrassing night for Germany. This has been the worst performance. I've got to say, surely, statistics-wise, this has to be the worst performance in Germany's recent history. It was a long ball to Gaya on the left wing. Manuel Neuer has to come out in this situation to try and get the ball. Unfortunately, he can't get a touch on it. Gaya sees an opportunity to lay the ball into the middle of the box. He lays the ball into the path of Oyarzabal. It's a simple, sweaty tap-in. Spain 6, Germany 0. And it's a nutmeg on Jonathan Tah. Fraudulent performance from a shit centre-back tonight. Useless from him. And unbelievable indeed. Spain 6, Germany 0. But let's go over to KD because that's been the goal in this game between France and Sweden. Is it a comeback for Sweden or France really killed the game off now?
Well, with the news of Croatia losing in the last minute, Sweden have now scored to make it 3-2, and it's a really, really good, well-worked goal as well. Kulusevski flicks a ball, and it's fizzed back across the face of goal by Bengtsson, and it's put in by Robin Kajsen, who's come on as the sub in the second half. And I mean, I'm not quite sure what happens. Do Sweden need to win this game, or will they go through, stay up with a draw because they beat Croatia the other day? How does that work, Josh?
As it currently stands, they would need one more goal, I believe.
So they've got a minute plus added time to score that goal, but they would need to stay up. France have definitely taken their foot off the pedal a little bit, and Sweden have definitely took advantage of that. And I mean, game on.
No pressure on them now. Thank you very much, KD. It is nervous. Sweden only need one more goal. Are they going to survive? Will Croatia's last-minute defeat cost them? In the end, we'll have to find out indeed. It could, though, because full time means Croatia-Portugal is done. Croatia can only now rely on the fact that Sweden don't get an equaliser in this game. If Sweden get one more goal in this match, they will be safe in the Nations League. Croatia will be relegated after their last-minute defeat to Portugal. I can't believe we've got two minutes of additional time in this game. Spain 6, Germany 0 in what is a historic night for Spain and an awful night for Germany that will want to be very quickly forgotten about. And, well, they should be glad that they don't have to play another international fixture for a few months now because, as I said, I think Joachim Löw will be sacked tonight or tomorrow at the very least. If Joachim Löw is in a job tomorrow and he's the Germany manager, then fuck me, they are absolutely relentless in terms of trying to give that man belief. Awful performance tonight. the worst performance I've seen for years in Germany. I don't think I've ever seen a performance like this. They've not shown anything in attack. They've been awful in defence. It's just dreadfully bad performance indeed. We've got a dangerous corner, though. Of course, Malta and Faroe Islands was going to be 1-1, but Rowan is waving his hand. He's saying, no, nothing's come of it in the end. Of course, Malta need to try and get a win in this game, or else Faroe Islands will be going through and get promoted in their Nations League group. 4 minutes of additional time has been added on in the game between France and Sweden. Sweden only need one more goal. If they can make it 3-3 and get a point, they will be staying up in the UEFA Nations League. Croatia will be relegated. So plenty of action there because Portugal is done and dusted. They can only watch on and hope that Sweden don't equalise late on. We've got 10 seconds left here of Spain-Germany. It's now at walking pace for both sides. I'm going to bring Kieran in a moment, of course, to see what happens, but it's full time in this game between Spain and Germany. And honestly, it is one of those nights where you have to look and think, my Lord, what has gone on tonight? It certainly isn't nowhere near Brazil-Germany-esque, but it could be right up there in terms of of what's gone on. I never expected Germany to lose this game 6-0, but Spain have battered them. They have upset Germany. They have rifled them. And honestly, it is the worst performance, surely, for God knows how long for Germany tonight. Every player on that pitch should be embarrassed, should look at themselves, should really question whether they deserve to wear a Germany shirt. But full time in that match, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Spain 6, Germany 0. But we're going to bring on, I think we're going to bring on Rowan and Kieren now. For the last few minutes of their games. Let's see what happens. I'm seeing cricket noises right now. I don't know whether that's aimed at me. Unbelievable. Were those cricket noises aimed at me?
No, it was the joke that Kieran made.
Oh, I can't read in the chat. He's putting his hands up now. I didn't read it, unfortunately. But how many minutes are left in your game between France and Sweden?
To be precise, we've got 1 minute 50 left. Sweden did just have a good chance to get the ball in the box from a throw-in that was flicked on, but a silly foul committed in there. Typical men going down because to waste time, do you know what I mean? A minute and a half left, of course. Sweden needing a goal to stay up in the division, and they're just thwacking it forward as you would, of course, but it's to nobody really. And of course, Germany getting absolutely spanked tonight, Josh.
I'm going to bring Rowan in as well because there's a long throw in his game. Malta, Faroe Islands. Go for it, Rowan.
It's not a long throw. He's took it short. But Malta are literally, he's effed up. It's full time and Faroe Islands have done it.
They've done it. They've done it. They had to hold on to the pressure there. Thank you very much, Rowan. 1-1. Faroe Islands are promoted after, as you said, Malta pressure there. Bring you back in a little bit, Rowan.
Well,
big chance?
High pressure here, and Steven Nzonzi almost got caught on the ball, but he has been given as a throw into France, of course. Messing about in his own area with it. And the substitute, Kajust, who's come on for Seb Larsson, put a lot of pressure on him and Kimpembe, and he just bounced out for a throw in with 40 seconds left of this game.
No pressure. I think it's going to be all done and dusted now. I don't think there's going to be much time left in that match. Let's bring in Kieren L as well, because I assume there's a few more minutes left of your match as well, Kieren.
We've actually ticked over our time, Josh. There was 3 minutes added on, and we're now entering the fourth. I'm really not sure what for. It is all over. They blew the whistle, and you can see what it means to Gibraltar because they've all run on the pitch. They're all on their knees, exhausting, but they have finished top of the group because a point was enough for them.
It's a free kick for Sweden, about 45 yards out. Olsen is up. The ball is awful clearance, and now there's a real chance for Kingsley Coman or Kylian Mbappe to score to make it 4-2. There's no keeper. Kingsley Coman rolls the ball into an empty net, and France will be 4-2 victors on the night. You're always taking the risk bringing your keeper up. It was a poor ball into the box by the player, and Kingsley Coman benefits and gets a goal on the night from absolutely nothing. 4-2.
There we go. Thank you very much, Kieran. That is it. Sweden, they had to go forward, go gung-ho. And, well, unfortunately, it's cost them in the end. And if Giroud was still on the pitch, that would have been Giroud getting his hat-trick, unfortunately. But Kingsley Coman, of course, the substitute coming on in that game, getting the winning, well, not necessarily winning goal, but the goal that kills Sweden hearts. They're going to be relegated from their group 4-2 with, I assume, a few seconds left to go.
It is all over, by the way, yeah. Literally, the last kick of the game was Kingsley Coman putting the ball in the back of the net and relegating Sweden.
There we go. Thank you very much, KD. We'll bring you back in a second. Full time across the board tonight in what was surely probably the best night of Nations League action out of any of the match days so far. Full time. I still can't believe this. Spain 6, Germany 0 in one of the most embarrassing performances, surely, in Germany's history in terms of international performance in a competitive game. France 4, Sweden 2 on a night where Sweden had to win. They're very almost, got at least a point. They're very almost nearly got a point in the match late on. But because they had to push numbers forward, Kingsley Coman in the end getting a late goal to kill those dreams and hopes. Giroud with 2 goals in that game as well. Croatia, they just held on by their skin of their teeth. 3-2 win for Portugal tonight in the 90th minute. Croatia were down to 10 men. They had a valiant effort tonight. They could have been relegated if Sweden did get an equaliser, but they are safe in the Nations League. They will stay in League A. Malta, Faroe Islands, smaller games, but they certainly have plenty of drama in them. Faroe Islands looked like they were going to be cruising potentially to go through in this group. Malta then took the lead in the game, and if Malta won, they were going to go through as the leaders of the group and win the league and get promoted. They did it in the end. Faroe Islands stood strong. There was a late chance in the game, but Faroe Islands are promoted in the Nations League. And then Gibraltar, Liechtenstein, as Kieran said a moment ago, that one finished 1-1. Scenes of jubilation for Gibraltar, the players celebrating, and no doubt tonight, if fans were there too, it would be a very historic moment for fans to be able to see their Gibraltar side promoted in the Nations League at the top of the table. And then, of course, other results tonight across the board. We didn't get to update you on some of the games. Montenegro winning 4-0 against Cyprus, a dominant performance from the home side tonight. Luxembourg, Azerbaijan ending 0-0. And then what a performance from Latvia tonight. They got 5 goals in their game. 2 penalties late on in the match and a red card for Andorra in the 90th minute means that they get 5 goals. Fantastic performance for them to end their Nations League campaign. So very quickly, let's go through the groups and see how the groups are looking after tonight's performances. Of course, groups 1 and 2 don't play today. They're on tomorrow night. Group 3 means that France are through to the knockout stages of the Nations League. They were already through yesterday. Anyway, Portugal finished 2nd. Croatia, just by the skin of their teeth, finished 3rd. Sweden relegated after a 4-2 defeat to France. In Group 4, Spain finished top after a rout of a performance against Germany. Germany somehow finished 2nd, of course, with a -3 goal difference, which is crazy. Ukraine and Switzerland, however, still have to play. Ukraine-Switzerland's game was called off due to COVID-19. Now, if this gets played, of course, unfortunately, I think it still means Ukraine would finish 3rd because their head-to-head record against Germany. But they would finish on 9 points. Switzerland still have a chance to survive. Ukraine could still be relegated. Then we go over to the other games tonight from the smaller teams. Faroe Islands promoted on 12 points, undefeated in all 6 games. A very good performance from Faroe Islands in the Nations League this season. And then Gibraltar as well, unbeaten in their group, 8 points, dominant. Only scored 3 goals, however, in 4 games, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. They're through into the next league, which will be, of course, League C. But what a set of fixtures tonight. Spain beating Germany 6-0 in what has got to be the most embarrassing performance in Germany's recent history. One question I have to ask. It's the obvious question on the board. What happens to Joachim Low? Does he get sacked after tonight's performance, or do you think a competition like this isn't worthy enough for him to get sacked?
I think if any manager's getting beat 6-0 there, you've got to look and think, what's happening here then? I think it's been a long enough time for Joachim. I think this has been coming for a while.
Yeah. It's been an absolute drubbing tonight.
Germany need a reset. Why not?
Who's there to replace him?
Hopefully not Jurgen Klopp. There's been rumours about him. Maybe an interesting German job. I don't think he'd leave anyway.
You can't get beat 6-0.
No, and as I said, the way that this performance was tonight, it was incredibly embarrassing. They had no shots on target tonight, Germany, 30% possession, 2 shots in the whole game. Spain had 23 shots, 10 on target. Dominant performance from them tonight, and as I said, I'd be surprised if Joachim Löw's in the job tomorrow. Kieran, 4-2 to France tonight. Fantastic performance from them. Great game of football, and you have to say, Sweden did the best to try and get it back in the match, didn't they?
Yeah, I think the scoreline's a little bit on the nicer side for Sweden. It could have been a lot more tonight. They weren't at the races at all. They got caught out a lot of times. France could have scored more. Giroud probably should have had 4 goals, to be honest. Josh, maybe he'd have got that in form then if he'd have got that 4. But yeah, good performance from the world champions tonight. Thoroughly deserved the top of the group status and to go through into the knockout rounds.
Just didn't want to embarrass Sweden. He's a nice guy, what can I say? Yeah, dominant performance tonight. 16 shots, 8 on target. Sweden, 6 shots, 2 on target. unfortunately for them, they are relegated now. They will drop into League B. Another great game tonight. Croatia 2, Portugal 3. Red card in the game. Portugal with a really good comeback, but you have to say Croatia tried their very best tonight.
Yeah, Croatia, I thought they played really well. I thought a draw would have been a fair result. Portugal dominated possession. They had more shots, but Croatia were very efficient when they got the chance on goal. But yeah, Portugal snatched the win away. I mean, Kovacic, I thought he played brilliant tonight for Croatia, got both of their goals. But the keeper, I said he was brilliant all night, and he was the reason why they lost, dropping that ball from the corner the last minute. But yeah, a nice win for Portugal. I'm sure that all 7 of the Man City fans on Twitter will now be saying that Ruben Diaz is the best Premier League centre-back after scoring his 2 tap-ins.
And the other 7 will be saying that Ferran Torres is the best winger in the Premier League.
There we go. A good performance though tonight in that game. And Rowan, you had a fairly eventful game as well in terms of the fact that, this was a bit of an interesting match. At one point, Malta were at the top of the table, looking like they were going to win the group, and then Faroe Islands getting back into it. But how was the game for you overall tonight?
It wasn't bad. These 2 teams, it actually meant something to them. When the game ended, all the Faroe Island players ran on. When Malta, they all fell to the floor. It really clearly meant something for this team that they got out of their group and they'd achieved some success. Malta nearly won it in the dying stages, late corners, late throw-ins, but Faroe Islands just sat back and defended well. They held on.
They certainly did indeed. Good performance from them tonight. Malta 1, Faroe Islands 1. And then, Kieran, you also had a 1-1 draw. Gibraltar and Liechtenstein tonight. Very similar, of course. Gibraltar in jubilation of getting through. What was the performance like tonight from both sides?
I think the second half died down a little bit. I think Gibraltar were happy to take the point because it was enough for them to win the group. They didn't have to go chasing the game. In the moment the full-time whistle went, as we've stated before, it meant a lot to these players. They were all in huddles, jumping up and down, chanting and whatever. It's lovely to see, So for these smaller nations, I think these tournaments do mean a little bit more because if you put them in competitive environments up against these bigger nations, they're not going to win them. So you put them in and around where they can get some results and you get celebrations like tonight. So congratulations to them.
Very good indeed. A very eventful night across the board in the Nations League. We said kind of before we went live, we thought maybe teams would go gung-ho tonight. They certainly did indeed across some of the games. And it was a very enjoyable night of Nations League action. And there's plenty more to come on the channel as well. More Nations League action as we're live tomorrow night from 7:30 to cover every game apart from England. That's Matchday 6 live from 7:30. There's no England in that stream. Fuck that shite. 7:45 on Friday, we've got Monaco versus PSG's club football is back. Should be a fantastic game in League One. First one of the season for us. And then on Saturday, keep your eyes out because we've got Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City at 5:15. And then at 7:50, Atletico Madrid v Barca. Still more games to be confirmed depending on what happens on Saturday. A lot of good games across the board. And then we're back on Tuesday, 24th of November, with the goal show for the Champions League groups E to H facing off in the Champions League. That includes the likes of Dortmund, PSG, Man United and Barcelona all playing. We'll be live from 7:45 for that, with kickoff at 8 o'clock. Of course, there's other content on the channel as well you can keep your eyes out for. There was a new episode uploaded this morning of the Wrestling Corner with Rowan and Simon. And there's also another episode as well of the FM21 Career Mode, which is available on the channel now. But boys, fantastic night of action across the board. Plenty of goals, plenty of drama. And Joachim Low is probably without a job now. Thanks for joining us, boys. Thanks, Will. Thanks, Kieran. Thanks, KD. And thanks, Rowan, as always.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you
very much. But as for now, have a great morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And if you're a German fan, don't cry yourself to sleep tonight. Good night.